game, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But ladies and gentlemen, we are onto the Rift. Nothing's happened just yet. We are waiting just about before everything gets in. But we are onto the Rift for our first game of the EStars 2018 tournament. Cork City versus Shamrock Rovers. And it's going to be a fun game. And honestly, I want to see if overconfidence is a thing here. Shamrock Rovers are going to feel very, very confident. And you can see already, they're already grouping as, you know, a 5-man. They're going to look to try and find someone off guard and really punish them.
Absolutely. We see them running in. We can't see the mini-map too well. I wonder if we can resize that. I don't know if that's on stream as well, but just a note to people. But we see a 5-man grouping in bot. So you were talking about a little bit of cheese, and it definitely looks like it's about to happen. They're about to find Tarek. I don't see him get away. He does his flash, but he's been stunned up by LeBlanc. That is going to be first blood going over to Shamrock Rovers. And who better to get it than LeBlanc?
Yeah, and like I said, it's all about that cheese. It's all about kind of, you know, coming in, and it's really going to be kind of, you know, hard for them to stop this LeBlanc from getting absolutely massive. And I said it, you know, you're in these first games, you're on a tournament environment on the LAN. It's got to be something that you have to be careful of, and you can't just be sitting there waiting for something to happen. That Tarek, kind of a little bit late to react as well, burned his flash, so there's a lot of, like, you know, kind of misplays there. He's going to have to be very careful in the laning phase.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was looking back at base or something like that.
Yeah,
or tabbing
chop,
away, shop, tab, one of those, and standing in brush, because when they come around that corner, they should have been in vision way before he could have walked away. Or flashed away, whatever, but it's a shame. But we see the pull here, nice little pull for Rek'Sai. So Rek'Sai is an interesting pick that has kind of come up a little bit in popularity because of the changes to vision. Because we have less vision, we have more aggressivity. Rek'Sai's value through her passive, where she's able to track and show where other champions are, is actually quite valuable. This is an interesting turnaround, but this is really... So I love Kled as well, and he can be in the right hands such a great champion, because you playing on such a fine line of losing Kled, being aggressive, and getting Kled back in. And it's one of those things that Kled kind of goes against what so many other champions teach you.
Yeah, he's definitely a bit of a one where you kind of like back in, back out, back in again, and kind of, you know, he has got a lot of potential to really put down damage, given the, as I say right now, the full auto tank got to be very careful of sprinkles. Putting down, peppering him with damage, making sure he knows this is a very even top side of the map, and doesn't need to be pushing up that forward. As I say that though, Gulag going to come in, full auto tank gets knocked up, he's going to flash away and use the hook shot. Does evade it, but that summoner down, and you can imagine the Rek'Sai will be back up top.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm not so sure that the flash was needed, but better to be safe than sorry, especially since they have a 1-kill advantage. They have the first blood. There's no need to risk it unnecessarily. Interestingly, though, in the mid lane, they're even on CS. Now, it's early days. You don't necessarily expect a huge difference, but at the same time, it's still quite good. And here we see Rek'Sai again mid, trying to just do some pressure. Manages to cap Zoinkas. This is so close. Oh my god! Look at that. Viga getting the kill.
Yeah, and Gulag just absolutely all over this map right now. Gets a huge amount of damage down, and I feel like Dano just didn't respect the amount of damage and CC that can come out from this combo of the Rek'Sai and the Vigar. And definitely pays for it. Didn't blow any summoners, so, you know, won't be summoner list, but giving over that kill after getting one himself evens up that mid lane straight away.
Yeah, no, definitely it does, and we can see, I think the gold is fairly close, so with those sorts of things. We have a little bit of action and poking going back and forth. Coming out there. Really great reactions coming out. The Braum to shield up, and just farming away, and Varus is definitely starting to creep ahead around 10.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit, the push is there. We talked about it a little bit in pre-game as well, is that, you know, the Varus and the Braum are so much better at this particular one, especially, you know, kind of, I know for a fact that Adzi and Dr. Yeti have practiced this a lot, so they know exactly how this lane goes, they know exactly what their power points are, and they know exactly how to do pretty much everything with this lane. The question is, though, is if they can carve up a big enough advantage that it becomes significant. 5, 10, 15 CS, not exactly huge. 30 CS and 2 kills, that's a significant one.
So you've got to start wondering, like, well, what about this advantage that was there in mid lane? Are they able to really push that and start snowballing it? because we saw they were getting a bit cocky. He didn't expect the Rek'Sai to turn up, thought he didn't need to flash, and it ended up paying for it. He flashed too late, whereas he flashed maybe too early. So it'll be interesting. So we'll see how things go. So Volibear is just farming up at the moment. He's got his you know, assist there. It's gonna take him a few items, I think, to get going. But we're definitely seeing much more of an impact from the Rek'Sai.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more kind of going on as such in terms of the jungle side for the side of the blue team, and it's at Cork City. They've got to have Gulag making those plays. They've got to make sure that he doesn't have his lanes fall too far behind. Otherwise, it's just not going to be a fun time for him at all, or his team, because they will just absolutely scale into oblivion, and not much else they can do. As you see, Lotto Tank going to get jumped on by Sprinkles and then return the aggro, but it's not really going to be a huge one. But what actually is a little bit huge is the CS differential between the Camille and the Kled. So again, a little bit of an explanation to people watching who might not be familiar with the game. CS are those little minions you see all fighting each other in between. You get extra gold for being the last person to kill them. So that's what you want to be doing in that top side, and you can see all the different scores on the scoreboard along the bottom half of the screen, and that will tell you exactly who has what. So you can see a 31 to 22, almost a 10 CS lead. It's definitely not, as I said, it's not huge, but it's definitely not something we expected considering how powerful the Camille can be.
Exactly, and Camille, I definitely rate Camille higher than Kled at the moment, because I don't think Kled's been buffed since he was nerfed. So this is just, I think, a good matchup for a player who knows how to play against it. And I know Camille is definitely, as someone who plays her a lot, if you know her skill set and you understand her, she can be countered. And one of the best matchups is actually the Fiora into Camille, because you have such a skill base of like dancing back and forth around who can get those vitals or dodge them and hit the stun, riposte, and so on. But we're seeing like a good little bit of trading back and forth here. Same in mid lane, it was looking LeBlanc putting pressure on the Vigar, but Vigar never overextended and kind of exposing himself to anything.
Yeah, LeBlanc is going to go try roaming, as I imagine, fairly soon. We'll be getting that level 6. Actually, he has it at level 6. We see now Engage in this bot side. Braum using the Unbreakable. Adzi putting down a lot of damage. Going to be able to trade that one fairly nicely. As we see now, both teams, neither really wants to kind of go too ham. As I say that, though, a little bit of a bad trade there for Sprinkles. He is taking a lot of minion aggro, and he needs to be careful of that.
He absolutely does. It's one of those things that's so easy to forget about, that you're just so tunneled in vision against the opponent. You want to do it, you know you can do the damage, but here we have Gulag jumping, and once again, be able to take down Adzi in the bot lane. Dr. Yeti will probably be able to get away. But actually, no, he is stunned up, and Gulag is proving himself to be a monster. So what happened to your favorite team?
I know, well, I wouldn't say my favorite team, but definitely the team I expected to be a lot stronger than this. A double kill in that bot lane is massive for the side of Cork City. That is not something that should not be happening, but this is what I talked about in terms of Dr. Yeti and Adzi. They sometimes just don't click. They sometimes just tilt off the face of the earth, and they don't know where to come back from it, and that is a huge hole in the side of Shamrock Rovers. And we talked about it, we'll talk about it, we talked about it once, we'll talk about it again. LAN is completely different to online, and pressure looks like it's mounting on the side of Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, and it's so important, but it's such a disappointment because they started off so well. They managed to get that first kill, first blood over there. Top lane managed to avoid the gank, but then just walk back into it, and then people are dying. And then in bottom lane, it seems like they're overextending, they're underestimating their opponents, and they're paying for it.
Yeah, they really, really are. And giving away those 2 kills is massive, especially considering Varus will be trying to build up towards that Gwynzu's Rage Blade, which takes so long to build up. You do not want to be in a position where you have the components but not the finished item, because individually they're not actually that strong at all, but when it's combined is when it becomes such a huge item spike for this Varus. But level 6s have been hit now by both bot lanes. Might see a little bit of action soon. 3-1 in kills. It's relatively equal in gold, actually. It's only about 100 or 200 in head. And I have to think that Shamrock Rovers, they've got to come back with something. They've got to try and find a move. But this Volibear, he's been mute. He hasn't actually done anything. We've seen 3 ganks from Gulag's Rek'Sai, and the Volibear is only 5 CS up. He's not even that far ahead in terms of CS. It's just all been Gulag.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got to question yourself, like if the Volibear isn't ganking, he should be power farming. If he's not power farming, his jungle, where is he in the enemy jungle, and this is where it's kind of like teams can find the weakness and start exposing it. And it's very interesting because we're in a part of the meta and a time in the meta where jungle has a big impact. I mean, it has for quite a while and so on, but in and out, and we're seeing it. But with the difference in vision and the impact an aggressive jungler can have is huge. But as we can see, we have LeBlanc roaming down with a Volibear also in the river. It looks like they were spotted out, but I wonder if they're going to try and grab this dragon.
Yeah, they might go for it. It was a 4-man stack in that bot side. They really want to try and get, you know, the Varus and Braum combo back on a winning path, because right now it is just not looking so hot. As I say that, though, we see that Mr. Train of Corruption going to have to back away. Volibear just coming in for extra support. And that's all that she's going to write on that particular one. But the vision control is very defensive from the side of Shamrock Rovers. They haven't really got any aggressive wards. So like, there's nothing really on that top side of the map. Nothing in the river. As I say that, though, we're going to see Vygar. He's not going to have a fun time against Dano. We know this. He's 20 CS down. He's equal on kills, but it's still not going to be a fun time. All he has to do is survive. All he has to do is keep scaling on that Vygar, get that stacks up, and just become a one-shotting machine. If he can just get his ultimate onto Dano's LeBlanc, get him out of the fight, then it's a win-win for their team.
Absolutely, and that is the name of the game, I think, for Cork, is that they recognize they have to scale. Xayah is really good. With Tara, who can do some really great situations, and we definitely have the top lane that can do that. So no one, but they're playing very safe, which is working quite well. What I find interesting is that despite Varus dying, he's still 10 CS ahead. Not huge, like we've said before, but it means he's still staying in the game. And so often players, again, I'm using tunnel vision, but kind of focus on the kills, whereas I think it's 15 or 20 CS actually is equates to a kill.
18.
18, there we go.
Yes.
So I basically hit smack middle of the range.
Pretty much,
yeah. 18 CS is a kill, so if you're hitting already like 10 CS at this point when you're one behind, it's a kind of positive sign. But we see Cork going for the dragon.
It was actually started up here by Shamrock Rovers. We're going to see a TP coming in as well, as all ultimates are now being burned. We're going to see as well the Varus come in, but the Kled has already joined the fight. He can't really do much more. The dragon does go in favour, though, of the side of Cork, excuse me, as everyone now jumps in. Camille gets a great Hextech ultimatum, and that's going to be a good ultimate there by Ian Paul. They do trade back, though. This is actually a little bit of a bad situation here for full auto tank, and it's actually a full turnaround, 2 for 3 in favour of the side of Cork as they try to keep going on top of this. They are going to push in and push them right the way back. They get the dragon, they get the kills, and Cork looking strong.
They're looking really strong. Camille, I thought, won that one because she got a nice double kill, great ultimate, had to, and then started to back off, but then they got pulled in, and you saw Vygar doing what we said he needed to do, which was hit the stun, hit the skill shots, or the point and click rather than that, sorry, actually, but managed to get 3-0 now, and we're definitely seeing Cork taking ahead. Nah, but this Gulag might be actually overextending a little bit. It definitely looks it, and there we go.
Yeah, that was very greedy from there from Gulag, and really not respecting the lack of vision that he had overall in that place of the jungle. Didn't respect that LeBlanc had just TP'd back mid. They didn't know where Dr. Yeti was or Adzi, and he gives himself over. A pretty free kill. No need for that after such good play up until now. But at the end of the day, they do blow summoners. They are still pretty even, actually. I think it is Shamrock Rovers who are 500 gold ahead purely because of CS differentials. You see it there in the mid lane and the bot lane. It's, you know, 30 in the mid lane, and then, but those 3 kills, that Vygar is going to get so big so quickly. They just can't really let this go super late, and Shamrock, they're making a mountain out of a molehill.
Absolutely, it is, but they need to be careful. Like, Shamrock Rovers need to not give Cork too much scaling, but on the flip side, Cork can't make those small mistakes which are just going to get Shamrock back in the game, or keep them in the game, rather. We're definitely looking around, but what's interesting is that for a team with 3 players who have played together quite a bit, as you said, their objective control hasn't been great so far.
I wouldn't put that so much to them. The jungler is very instrumental in terms of, you know, your kind of global objective control. Yes, you can try and get as much kind of, you know, and you know, it's definitely something. As I say that, though, we're going to see a quick fight coming in here as they try to get onto Gusty Pants. He does get the heal coming out. He will eventually go down. The ultimate from Varus did come out as well, but they aren't able to get him off. Their splash is burned, but Iron Paw picks himself up. It's a 1-for-1 trade, and that's going to be a pretty good place for Gulag to be. Definitely in the right place at the right time.
I gotta say, Gulag is really playing so well, and even though he came in a little bit late there, he read the map and the aggression correctly and was able to get them a kill back, so keep them even. game is being paused. From what I hear is we're actually going to jump over to the other games just to catch up over there.
Yeah, we're going to have a quick look here. Looks like it's a fairly slow start. 1 kill only over to the side and over to the red team. And it's going to be pretty damn slow. You see a lot of kind of pause time coming out as well. Teams kind of, you know, figuring out there's a couple of small issues. You want to make sure they're absolutely 100% before they do anything here. But overall, it's pretty damn even. You know, apart from that mid lane, Cassidy only on 22 CS, the Talia on 46. So definitely a huge discrepancy so far there as we jump back in to the Shamrock Rovers game up here against Cork, as we're going to see there that the Volibear taking 1 down. But will he be able to get out of here alive? I do not think so. Does not have passive. And as I say that, though, it's going to be Ian Paul going in on top of the LeBlanc as well. Full auto tank, just about getting out of here alive as well. Big things here for the side of excuse me, Cork City, but it's not quite gelling for Shamrock Rovers, and they're losing pressure all around the map.
Absolutely, and we can see that mid lane tower is already halfway down. Another, like, it's good to see the Volibears finally come out of the jungle and have an impact on the map. Unfortunately, his pathing there meant he took too many shots from the mid lane tower. But Gulag, again, in the right time, right spot, and I kind of feel like saying he's carrying the team a little bit there.
He's definitely trying his hardest. He's definitely making it so his team have the best argument possible to come ahead with this game, and we are going to be in a little bit of pause. You see the players there, they are back into game on the, you know, Cork City versus Shamrock Rovers side, so hopefully we'll be jumping back very, very shortly as well. As here we are, mid lane under fire. You see the Braum coming in with the stand behind me and the Unbreakable to try and defend that, but it's so much damage, and once these towers start to fall, the map opens up, and that's when vision control becomes very, very important. Kled actually takes the first tower of the game up in that top side.
It's definitely not something we would have expected to see Cork taking the first tower, but we have full auto tank definitely trying to do some aggressiveness there. Unfortunately, he backed off. I reckon he could have chased Kled down there, but we'll see what happens. Playing it defensive, lost the tower, doesn't want to overextend, especially with what we've seen from the Rek'Sai. I can respect it. I think at the moment needs to catch up in CS. We'll see how things go. Varus still... Oh, finally. Okay, his first item completed. This is a huge power strike for Varus, so we'll see how things develop.
Yeah, the Guinzo's Rageblade is so huge, and no finish item there for Xayah. CS relatively even, but those 2 kills as well. Xayah will be going towards that Essence Reaver so she can spam abilities. There it is, completed 100%. I just want to see if the next fight is going to be around that Dragon Pit, as we see now. Zoinker's coming in. Dano actually is Zoinker's on the live client, but actually Kled caught out a little bit. We're going to see the Volibear come in with those Thunder Claws, trying to just burst him down as much as they can. They have got the Hextech Ultimatum, but there is a good stun, good zoning potential as they stun up Dano, and he's forced to back away immediately. Gets out with just about a quarter of his health, and I think the Volibear might have gone in a little bit too hard. They don't quite get any more kills, and actually more stuns means they're going to be able to put Dr. Yeti in a bit of a bad situation now, as he joins the team. Does end up getting a good route there onto the Taric. He will be the sacrificial lamb as they come into this. There's the bite down. Now the fight continues. It's such a long, drawn-out experience for everybody. Now it's going to be a trade-up supports. Braum and Taric both down, as Ian Paul trying to do as much as he can. He will get stunned up as well. Forced to use the ultimate, but that's a great stun! 1 to 3! And that's a massive Vigar stun there. The cage comes down, and that is huge for the side of Cork City. They are doing so much. They are cleaning up house. It's a clean ace at 17 minutes.
What a great stun coming out of Xayah to dodge the ultimate straight into the Vigar stun, and that's it. 3 down, 3 alive, sorry, on the side of Cork. Everyone dead on the side of Rovers. Massive turnaround, and you know, this Cork team is coming out to win.
They really, really are, and it's just such a crazy thing that I just did not expect, given the caliber of the side of certain players on the side of Shamrock Rovers. And that Rift Herald will be going over to the side of Cork City as they just play so well in that team fight. But we are going to have a quick look at the others game just very quickly to see how the guys are getting on in the other side of the Rift. But as we look over here, it's 3-0 now, and we're seeing the red side. They're definitely coming out a little bit stronger, slowly but surely, and that Ezreal has been picked up by Museums.
Yeah, so that's what we expected. You said it was a comfort pick, and then this kind of comes down to it again, is like, as good as Ezreal is, if you are comfortable on that champion, it's worthwhile putting it out, because you, like you said, if you're at a diamond level, and you're at that level of play, and you think you can dominate your opponent, especially if they're a bit weaker, there we can see Talia also getting a few kills, and I don't think Cassidy is having a good time.
No, I don't think he is at all, and definitely not somewhere you want to be that kind of far behind as such like that, and it's definitely something that's going to be a little bit harder for him to do because he wants to be split pushing. He wants to be the one in the side lanes just putting down constant pressure because you can't touch him because of his rift walk. You can't get near him because of his damage. You have to send multiple people to deal with him. As you see the C-Prom, he's doing very, very well at just keeping this Kassadin controlled, keeping him in line to make sure his team are able to get that Cho'Gath stacked up, get the Zac some health items so they're able to make those team fight dives work.
And Cho'Gath can be such a pain to deal with. I actually rate him as one of, if not the best tank top laner at the moment. Really, the only ones that can match up against him is probably Trundle, I'd say.
Trundle maybe as a huge counter as such, but we are going to see a little bit more kind of, you know, play towards that top side as such. Maokai and, you know, Cho'Gath. It's not exactly the most interesting lane. It's kind of handbags all the way. It's just kind of people slapping each other. They're both very, very tanky. Neither of which should be dying to the other. As I say that, though, Darkstelion going to come in with the elastic slingshot. There is the ultimate as well. Nunu was waiting off in the back of the wings, though, and they might be able to turn this one straight the way around as Caitlyn is putting in those auto attacks. Darkstelion in a very bad position, will get his cell division down, and that will just be an easy picking off here for the side of the blue team as we see Kassadin kind of go in. Kassadin just not able to do anything, forced to flash away in that mid lane and just really put under so much pressure. Tried to roam and give them some help, but in the end they pick up a kill onto the Zac. There's a Talia wall though, Weaver's wall gone down, not able to pick up anything from it. Museum's just trying to be a little bit more annoying, keep them away from this farm, keep himself in a good position.
Absolutely. Now once again we see the better team maybe overextend a little bit. Good read from the opposing jungler, and Nunu comes in and they're able to turn that gank around. Zac actually hit a great ultimate, great stun. Everything you'd expect, they would have won that fight, but suddenly the other team is finding its way back in. So this is what we were talking about, you know, so many opportunities for unexpected plays, unexpected champions, and ultimately anyone can win. It's week one, it's not what you expect, and someone could just appear that can take it all.
That's it. You have to be, you know, kind of prepared for the, you know, kind of the unexpected as such. You know, it's a weird one, but it works very, very well as we see. Kassadin, he's just not going to have a good time right now. I really feel like they need to just try and get him out of that lane, get him into a side lane, maybe rotate the, you know, the jungle in there as well. As Darkstelion comes in to try and defend with that Nunu, posturing very aggressively, and it is a little bit of a change up for the sides, but I feel like, you know, the red team are just feeling so much stronger, and I feel like they're just going to eventually win this game, even if it's a win of, you know, kind of a game of 1,000 cuts.
Absolutely, and I think that, like you said, it's at Kassadin. If he's losing the lane, he needs to look at moving around and jumping around. He needs to look at going to other lanes, influencing them, and picking up some assists there to get some bit more relevance. Because if he's just going to be pushed out of lane again and again, unable to farm, and constantly just being harassed and potentially getting one-shotted, but if Zac gets the right kind of ultimate on him, and so we know his flashes down, Talia can pressure him. This is where they need to be careful and be smart.
Yeah, they need to try and play this a little bit smarter, and, you know, E10, he needs to be careful as well. Limerick not feeling the strongest right now, and he does take away that pink ward, but again, small little things going in favor now of the side of the red team as they're just kind of, you know, picking up little things. The dragon now going over in their favor. Actually, an Infernal Drake did go over to Limerick, so you can always kind of commend them for that little pickup, but you know, it's just so hard for the side to really look for kind of any kind of huge advantage in these lanes. And there's a Mountain Drake straight over, and that's just going to make the Talia kind of, you know, Baron take so much scarier, and that mid lane turret is pretty much gone.
Yeah, and that mid tower is just about to go down, but I know we're going to jump back to the original game and see how things are going down there, but there's a bit of action involved. Missed ultimate coming out of the Braum. Zac is there, but we're jumping over back to Shamrock Rovers and Cork, where there's been loads of action. Unfortunately, we missed it. 15 to 10, but we can see Dr. Yeti, Gulag jumping on Dr. Yeti. Dr. Yeti, is he going to go down? No, he's able to get away. Barely, no, he does die, and they're backing off.
Yeah, that was... We'd love to know the context of how that play was set up. It would be nice to be able to set that up. But it's actually an Infernal and a Mountain over on this side of the map as well. As we see the side of Cork City, they're really pushing this in. They're trying to get a lot of different advantage. Flashes there being burned on the side of Shamrock Rovers. And there's just not a huge amount they can do. This, you know, Vygar pick is so powerful in these mid-game, you know, kind of sieges, because puts down the cage. There's nothing you can do. The volley bear, very one-dimensional, can only run at you or away from you. Nothing else. Once he's in, that's the end of it. he kind of has to hope that he survives. Dano has been off on the side lanes, but that Viger is so big right now. 5-1 and 4. Gulag on this Rek'Sai 6-1 and 8. They are just able to try and push this as far as they possibly can and maybe get a win here. And they are ahead in gold. They are ahead in objectives. You can even see there on the minimap a little bit. Like, you know, they've completely cleared the top side of the map. There's only inhibitor turrets left. This is scary for the side of Shamrock Rovers. They came in as, you know, top 4 material. They came in as a team that were kind of, you know, if you beat them, that's great. They mightn't make the first, but they're definitely looking to make final. This is actually quite scary for them because now they're really behind.
Absolutely, and like we just saw Varus complete his second item with Wits End when Zaya was sitting on hers. She just picked up a BF sword. They're so far ahead. This is what we were kind of talking about. Like, you know, you get your comfort pick, you do something unexpected, you can snowball it. And, you know, the start with Shamrock Rovers, it's a testament to Cork that unfortunately they got first blood. Cork lost it, but they don't seem to have defeated themselves in terms of mentally. They kept in the game. They've continued to pressure it. Even though LeBlanc was pressuring, putting a lot of pressure in the mid lane, it wasn't able to kind of convert into anything. If we see the mid lane for Cork is still standing. It might be low, but it's still standing. In fact,
all turrets are.
All of them are. So this is such a different kind of situation than what we expected. Now it's a question of what does the experience of Shamrock Rovers mean that they're able to win it.
That's the big thing. Can Cork City close out an advantage? Can they push what they have and push it into even further kind of advantage? Dragon is live. It is an Ocean Drake, so it's not the most powerful of ones. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just first time watching this, you're wondering why are they going after this big, massive lizard? Basically, for the first 35 minutes of a game, you know, random kind of elemental drakes spawn. They give you different buffs depending on what those drakes are. The Ocean, which just went down there, that gives you extra health regen and mana regen. So it does mean that it helps you kind of, you know, stay out longer. You know, you get the Infernal Drake, which is the fire one, gives you more attack damage, gives you more kind of stuff to use. As our cameraman has just gone off, and he's gone off in his own little world. You know,
no, he's just a bird watcher. He's a big fan of birds. He's found
literally, it looks like it's like a dog. He just kind of turned around and went like, bird!
Potentially Swain's bird, you know, just sitting over there on the side. And there we are, back in the action. Bit of damage coming out of Baron, but someone has triggered it. We have a nice kind of flank coming out of LeBlanc. Wonder, here we see the execution, but it looks like Volleybed just getting deleted. Pledis coming up huge. Gulag, though, overextends, gets taken down. Camille has been taken out by Zaya. Once again, LeBlanc getting down, and we see Cork coming out ahead.
3 for 1 in that fight, and right there it looks like they're going to try go for the Baron right now. No one really wants to tank it though. I don't think they need to go for this just yet. They have not got a jungler. The jungler did go down in that fight, but you can just see how squishy the side of Shamrock Rovers are. The Camille can't stay alive in these fights. Iron Paw was on less than 20 health, and he still survived just based off of that kind of, you know, extra little bit of damage he was able to put out. And this Camille pick, though it should be strong, it's not really working out. They're really expertly braiding out that LeBlanc. Dano trying his hardest, but he just can't get into that backline for longer. And I just feel like Shamrock Rovers, they need something to go right for them. They need to kind of, you know, get a hold of a team fight, because right now they're just losing so much. As we swap back to the Limerick game.
Absolutely. So as we can see here, a bit slower, but we have 2-6. Top tower getting taken out by Cho'Gath, and Zach is definitely putting a lot of pressure. With this game, but we'll see how things are going. Much slower pace than the other game, but it definitely looks like Limerick's a bit on the back foot.
Yeah, Limerick a little bit behind right now. You see kind of most of the outer turrets taken out for the side of the red team, and it's just very difficult to see how they kind of come back into this one. It's going to be a slow one. You know, the Nunu hasn't got great engage, if any at all. The Maokai has no real engage. The Janna, which they picked up, has no engage. It's all disengage. It's all kind of chasing people down rather than actually jumping in on top of them. And that's a bit of an issue for the side of Limerick. They really don't have the tools available for them in their champion select to really kind of crawl this back, because normally when your team's behind, as long as you've hard CC and you have some way of getting on top of the enemy team, you catch them off guard, you can get back into it. I don't see how Limerick get back into this because they have no way of getting on top of anybody.
I mean, really the only person is Maokai, and I don't see him as being impactful enough and being able for everyone else to jump in and take care of it. As you said, Ezreal is huge. Talia 4-0-1, that's a force to be reckoned with. Working towards the death cap, which is going to be really big once that's going to be huge impact. And just the damage is becoming even bigger. Ezreal's playing a really nice. This is what you need from the Ezreal. Just playing on the edge. There's a great ultimate coming out of Brawl.
Yeah, we're going to see them going in there. Zach does get the let's bounce and bring 2 more people back into the C-Prom though on the wrong side of that, but it doesn't matter. He's just so strong. Exhaust goes down on top of him. Now we're going to see E10 maybe trying to get something on the backside, but it's going to be Dejana falling down now. C-Prom just about stays alive. It's a double kill for the Ezreal, and now they chase down the rest of Limerick. There's just not a huge amount more for them to take. There's very low health bars now on the side of the red team, but they are still pushing down. They have got a minion wave coming in. Will they be able to take out this very tanky? Actually, I say very tanky.
Very tanky at all.
Not very tanky at all. Maokai went with a Spirit Visage as his first item, so he has no resistances really whatsoever. And all the while, Cho'Gath's just been pushing up top lane. He's been chilling.
They should be able to get 2 turrets off of this and then maybe back off and go drag, but it looks like they're not actually going for the bottom turret.
No, just go for dragon.
Top, yeah. It's, unfortunately, so as we were saying earlier, for those watching, the more dragons you get, the better the stack. This is a win rate, so they'll get some additional movement speed to stack on top of the mountain drake, which is objective damage. Backing, resetting, shopping, and they're playing it safe.
Yeah, absolutely. You want us to play it slow, methodical. Don't give any advantages away that you can't afford to give away, and really just look for kind of more and more pressure. And we're going to swap back over to our possibly more interesting game of Shamrock Rovers versus Cork City. We've seen more kills go down. Now Baron actually went over to the side of Shamrock Rovers, and that's a huge swing of gold and pressure they're able to put down now as they actually finally take down some turrets.
Absolutely. We can see that mid, top, and bottom have opened up. Oh no, the mid, bottom hasn't. So we've gotten 2 turrets. That's huge. This is not too far behind. Their farm is definitely huge. LeBlanc is getting fairly close to Flame Horizon. A top lane Camilla is doing quite well, and she's picked up a few kills. Still not going for the tank items. I'm quite fond of the Jom's Fist on it. I think it just adds a level of tankiness and damage that synchronizes really well with the other weapons, but we'll see how things go. Varus has picked up a few items as well, so we'll see how things go, but I was very impressed by Zaya's reactions and Tarek's ultimate coming in, trying to create a disengage. Shamrock Rovers are backing out.
Yeah, the LeBlanc coming in onto that one means that, you know, they do not want to fight that one whatsoever, as we see more and more people jumping in. Fled's going to have to jump away. They're just trying to defend as much as they can. Camille left, though, all alone. All 5 members of Cork City now in this bottom lane, trying to just hold out as long as they possibly can. They have got mid lane pushing in for them, though, which is nice. I don't know why you're trying to catch this LeBlanc right now, because I don't really feel like that's going to work out for you guys. You see him now going in with the dissonance, just trying to just disengage constantly. They will flash in, get the stun in, has no... One more dissonance. Ultimate does come out, but they've wasted so much time. 2 turrets are going down. Baron buff is still available. They have to burn the TP. This is just poor decision making from Cork. We talked about it. They just don't have the, you know, the kind of the means to really look for these fights. They're going to lose so much off of this as well, and that was just very poor decision making coming out from the side of Cork City as Gulag, the man of the hour, trying to just carry his team. Shamrock Rovers very much back in control of this game and of the rest of this kind of, you know, situation, because they've just taken everything.
And it's been said before, it'll be said again, don't tunnel in on kills. What matters are the objective. Chasing the LeBlanc halfway across the map when your Camille is taking down your turrets. And at the end of the day, Camille can take turrets down so fast with her skills as well as her item choices. Trinity Force is going to be huge. And it's those sorts of things, and that's why they've lost the mid lane inhibitor.
Yeah, they've lost so much pressure, they've lost so much pace as well, and what was all Cork City is now back in Shamrock Rovers. You don't chase LeBlanc. LeBlanc is like the one champion you just do not chase, because she's just got so many tools available to her to get her outside, and that was actually perfect for the side of Shamrock Rovers as well. They didn't have to do anything. They just literally let the side of Cork City just run at LeBlanc. LeBlanc stays alive. LeBlanc actually picks up a kill on Gulag as well, while they're just dismantling the base of Cork City. And very, very poor decision making coming out from Cork City, and you know, you can kind of see what was 6-1 and 8 is now 6-4 and 9 for Gulag, and he's just not really finding those plays that he really does need to find. Absolutely,
and this is one of those things I would love to hear what the Shamrock Rovers comms were right there, because I wouldn't be surprised if their mid laner, his name was
Dano, yes.
Dano. Dano's experience is coming in and saying, you know what, I'm baiting them, they're following me, just keeps pushing. And then the rest of the team that had disengaged from that fight just rotated mid. Really good call there. I'm not sure, I wouldn't be surprised. I wish we could have seen, unfortunately, that Baron play, but that's the sort of calls that you need to do, and that if Cork don't have the experience to close games out, they will continue to lose. However, they're not out. They're still leading in kills. They have 2 Drakes. Only the inhib towers are left on the side of Shamrock Rovers. So one good team fight could see Cork taking multiple inhibitors.
We'll have to wait and see, but that Varus and LeBlanc combo has just got so much. The Camille now finally on 2 items as well, so there's so much damage available to them. If they don't get CC'd, if they can just kite out the Tarek ultimate, which gives you invulnerability for those few crucial seconds, if they can bait that out, not get caught out by it, they can do so much with it. It all depends on what they go for, as we see more and more pressure being put onto the map from the side of Shamrock Rovers. They're going to reset now, go back, get some gold, or spend some gold, excuse me, and try and see if they can go for something a little bit more aggressive, because you imagine the next fight could be the last.
So what we've seen from Krusty Pants, I've actually been quite impressed by his Tarek ultimates. They've been timed quite well, going in for the engages, and it seems like the team around Cork has a real belief in each other, because when they've gone in, we've not seen that disconnect where some people are going in, some people are calling back. They've actually been synergized very well and going straight in, and Iron Par's ultimates have been really on point as well.
Yeah, absolutely. As we say, sometimes though, when you all go in, you all fall, and that's kind of the thing that happened there as they all went in for the LeBlanc. It was a bad play, but like you said, they are all on the same page, which is important. Baron up in a minute 45. That will be possibly the next major objective that these teams will look for. You imagine Shamrock Rovers, they don't want to give anything away given how shaky this early to mid-game has been. They've only really come back into the game now, so they're just going to wait it out and just jump onto that Baron. And I feel like we're just going to, you know, kind of leave this game for a moment as it all sets up, and we're going to go jump back into the other game where you can see it's not really much change. It's just a domination.
I mean, it's just gotten worse and worse.
Yeah.
You can see 16-2, not even 1 kill, where I'm pretty sure 8 kills have been gained on the other side at the very least. We have had Flame Horizon in mid lane. Top lane is getting 40 CS behind. It's the jungle, which is about what? 4. Sorry. Top lane is about 80. Mid lane is not Flame Horizon. That's just there's a bit of action going on. Nunu trying to do something, but it's not going to work out, and he gets taken out. Malakai's getting brought back. He is not tanky at all. He gets shredded, and this looks like just a dead team.
Yeah, Limerick do not look like they're the strongest right now, as we see more engages coming out. There's the elastic string there onto the Caitlyn. That's going to be the last of the real actual wave clear gone now, and this could be the end of the game. Baron has been taken. They're pushing onto the inhibitor turrets. It's 3 or 5v2. This could honestly be the game, as we see Museums trying to go in. One more auto attack should do it. Does not quite get him though before he gets onto the fountain, gets that regen. Another minion wave coming in though. They will take the inhibitor, and honestly it looks like they're gonna look for the game right here and right now. Nexus turret's really the only thing that's standing in their way. It could be a 27-minute game. The rest of Limerick are respawning, but Patterson just has nothing to really go in with. He gets destroyed by the rest of the team. And there's just nothing there. Prom and Museums, they've got so much damage. They just they come out of the spawn, they go back into the spawn. It's just nothing they can do. Prom
is basically zoning the whole Limerick team by himself. No one is coming forward because they're so scared. Museums is doing a really good job of, if he sees an opportunity, of doing so much damage with that poke. They're now trying to catch him, but it doesn't matter. The game is over. 27 minutes. Done. GG.
First game going over there. Limerick
do not think that was a GG. Unfortunately. But we're going back to the original game. 19-15. Cork versus Shamrock Rovers. And definitely looks like the Rovers are getting more and more back into this.
Yeah, they're definitely the ones with the pace. They're dictating everything that's going on right now. You see Baron is the next big objective, but no real vision coming out from either side. As I say that though, Volibear has been caught, will have a flash available, but will get out of it a little bit. But that's a big key ultimate and summoner down now for the side of Shamrock Rovers. They need to be so careful when they come into the next one. As we see now, they may start the Baron up. They have got a vision in the pit for Shamrock Rovers. That Baron is taken so low, but the rest of the side of Shamrock Rovers are coming in. It's going to be Cork City maybe looking for this. There's a Braum ultimate coming down. They're trying to use the Carrick ultimate. Zoinkers has to go golden and uses Anya to try and survive this. He flashes away, but Kled is on the backside, and now he's going to be taken down. This is huge for Cork City, and it's going to be Camille not able to get out of this either. There's absolutely nothing the side of Shamrock Rovers can do. They do trade out a kill, but it's only a 1-for-1. Ends up being 3-for-1 in favor of Cork City. This is huge for them. They go back onto the Baron. They do not have Smite though. You can kind of see a half call coming in here. Only the bot lane from Shamrock Rovers left. They need to make a decision. They need to know what they're doing right now. It looks like they're going to try and contest that Baron, but it's already dead. It's too late, and now the chase comes in. They didn't make a decision. That's poor from the side of Shamrock Rovers. Just as they were establishing control, they throw it all away.
They looked like they had such a nice flank. Only Clyde was coming from behind. They had vision of the pit. Really a really good positioning. They should have been able to execute it. But you know what? Cork is impressing me time and time again with their team fighting and their target priority. They're really focusing on the LeBlanc, switching straight to the Camille, who was caught out of position, separate from the rest of the team. And then the bot lane just pulls away, and that's it. The game's over. Well, not over, but game's over for that fight. They go and grab the Baron. And now Cork is in such a dominating position. They can actually very easily, I think, grab the Elder Drake, which will be a huge buff because they do have an Infernal and 2 Drakes. Not a huge one, but enough in team fighting. But no, they're backing off. But there's a bit of a... What they're fighting over the mid lane priority, but there seems to be a bit of action.
No.
But, straight into start, deleted. They should just go straight for the Elder Drake.
This is what I was just about to touch on. The Camille has no magic resistance. This Vigar will delete him in 2 seconds flat. There's nothing he can do about it. Now, the Elder Drake is going down. You see Dano off on the minimap just trying to push away that wave. Now they're looking for more kills, as we're going to see a little bit more push and push and push. But it's going to be so difficult for the side of Shamrock Rovers. They're against a Baron Buff and an Elder Drake. And those who don't really know, Elder Drake basically doubles the power of the Elemental Drakes you've already picked up, as well as giving you some extra burn damage. So even though there was already a lot of damage on the side of Cork City, there's now even more damage.
They've got to be so afraid of that Vigar at the moment. He's just huge, a monster. But they also recognize good rotation. The lane is pushing up top.
Ooh,
they're taking mid priority, but LeBlanc looking to backdoor.
I don't think he can do this.
But I think the other team is faster. I mean, if it's a 5-man push against a LeBlanc, and LeBlanc is not the fastest at taking down objective, whereas Cork is deleting it. And at the end of the day, we were saying we weren't sure if they can. They have the game knowledge to be able to finish off the game, but you don't need much game knowledge to become a ball of death and just go straight into the camp. They're able to take out Braun. Now they're going after the jungler. That's it. Volibear is now dead. Camille is trying back off, but this is definitely not it. Zonkas is forced to come back. Zonian, but he's so weak. That's it. He's dead. And this is it. It looks like Cork is going to win.
Wow. Cork City completely decimating Shamrock Rovers. It could have been absolutely massive. Cork City, they take the first game. That is huge.
It's huge. No one expected it, and good for them.
Yeah,
seriously,
absolutely.
This is what we're talking about. We've really wanted people who works better as a team, who's able to bring out those comfort picks and play the game, and they did it, and that's what matters. And it doesn't matter the experience or how good the other team is. If they can't play as a unit, they're going to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shamrock Rovers, solo skill will only get you so far. You know, like Dano played well, but he didn't play so much that the Vigar couldn't do anything. Vigar was still relevant. You know, the team fighting we saw, like you mentioned so many times from Cork City, was very relevant. The Camille pick, I really didn't agree with. The Volibear pick did nothing. It literally did nothing, unfortunately. They weren't able to make that pick work at all. And honestly, Shamrock Rovers, they've got a lot to think about before next week's game, because they're now on the back foot. They're now really on the back foot because Cork City, they took a surprise win.
Absolutely. And I don't actually disagree with the Camille pick. We talk a lot about the current meta and talking about how it is a tank meta. I don't think it is a tank meta. There's a lot of viability. But when you are picking that Camille, when you're not getting a snowball ahead, you need to think about what defense, and you need to think about what's on the other side, and not building any magic resist against the mid laner, the Vigar, who was snowballing ahead, I think was a mistake. We're going to jump over to the league standings to give you an idea of where everyone sits now.
After game 1, we see there kind of duration very important as well, but St. Pat's a little bit ahead, basically off of the kind of duration of game and stuff like that. It's only week 1 though, game 1 as such, or game 1 and 2. Cork City definitely in there as well, and it's, you know, you play one, you lose one. Limerick City and kind of Shamrock Rovers, they've got to come back now, and Shamrock Rovers especially. Limerick maybe not so much, they maybe weren't expecting to be huge, but Shamrock Rovers definitely kind of, you know, need to push themselves back, and a lot of teams will be kind of looking at this now kind of going, Jesus, fancy me chances.
Absolutely, and I think like that's it. Like you said, you know, we're looking at one team. We're expecting them to be one of the best. Mid laners, potentially one of the best. But it's like they can be beaten just by solid teamwork and a team that knows what their win condition is and pulling it out. Great start.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to Cork City.
Yep, and we'll be jumping over to the host now.
And rightfully, congratulations to Cork City. What an amazing game. What a phenomenal game, right? Because it started off with you looking like you were very much in control. We heard that Shamrock Rovers were almost the favourites going into this. Shamrock Rovers then started showing the world why they were the favourites going in ahead of this. But then it is Caelan, team captain from Cork City. Whammo, towards the end, 5 or 6 minutes in, you asserted your dominance. How did you do that?
Well, seeing as our goal plat bot lane smashed the full diamond bot lane, the game's over by then, so yeah.
Do you think that it was a perfectly legitimate result? Do you think Shamrock Rovers deserved anything from the game?
They deserved the loss, I guess.
So tell you what, the best thing to do is head over to Shamrock Rovers and see what Holly and indeed Shamrock Rovers captain has to say.
Oh, Daniel, tell me, where did it all go wrong for you?
She is going to. I can't read low IQ junglers. Like, his pattern was insane. I could not time that. So he got an easy gank off me mid, and they built so much magic resist when I was the only magic damage. So I was kind of shocked. That, but losses improve as it's my mindset. So next week is going to be a nice win.
I think that's important to take some positives out of it as well. It's still early days in the competition, of course, as well in this tournament. But Daniel, I mean, was there an issue with defense? Do you think that's an area that you need to improve on looking ahead?
I said we should split the whole game, but my team grouped around Baron, and I think we got caught. One person got caught, I can't remember, and yeah, we had the team fight then down a member, which is not what we want to do. So yeah, that's kind of where it went downhill.
Well, Daniel, plenty to look ahead to, but that wasn't the only game taking place tonight, Connor.
No, it wasn't indeed. Now, when the Cork City Shamrock Rovers game was very tight, it went right to the end. Let's just say St Patrick's Athletic made a little bit of an easier job of Limerick. Tell me, how were you able to do that? Because Limerick were all full of bravado, all full of confidence going into this, but it didn't pay off. It was yours to win, and you took the lead and you kept the lead.
Yes, definitely. We had a lot of preparation going into it in pick and ban. I feel like we're all just very more confident players than the rest of them, and it was just an easy win for us, to be honest. It was probably one of the easiest wins we're going to have, but going into next week, I think we're going to evolve even stronger, to be honest.
Now, Holly, you at the moment have those with what we call the wooden spoon, from a sporting analogy. The whipping boys are alongside you.
Don't call him a whipping boy, he's much bigger than you are, I can tell you that. Oh, Norbert, you had the best fighting talk beforehand. We had such a good chat about our tactics, what we were going to do. How are you feeling right now?
Courage can't help you with everything. You can lose, but you can lose.
Do you feel like you deserved? I mean, I've got to say, watching it was a difficult watch. It was an annihilation, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were constantly just berated by them. Constantly just dead. Couldn't do much.
Dead. That doesn't sound good. Are there any positives that we can take from this, looking ahead to the rest of the tournament?
We definitely have to improve on some things. Our communication was bad and some other things.
And I mean, looking at the other teams, watching their progress, is that something that you can look at as well, to try to take some positives, bring some of their tactics into your game?
Yeah, we can definitely look how they played and then just see what mistakes they will make in the future if they constantly repeat them.
Oh, very good. So definitely some tactic talks there. So early days, Connor. There's plenty more to come.
Early days, lads. Listen, Cork, go and lie down. It's been a good one. Caelan, thank you very much. Best wishes also to Cork City. St Patrick's, I should say. I got the 2 winners. You get the losers.
Oh, thanks very much. But look, you're not losers in my eyes. It's still early days, guys. Go and take yourselves off. Rest up. There's plenty more in this competition. Is that a sign of things to come? I don't know. Don't wreck the joint.
Lads, go ahead. Listen, great to talk to you, lads. Right, listen, get yourself on. You can give us a follow. You can get online, EStars.pro, if you want to watch all of the information online. You can just get on, have a little look, get experience if you've never been on this before. And if you have just tuned in, no matter where you are on planet Earth, Holly, where are they tuned into this evening?
We are in Dundalk this evening. From across the world, everyone has been tuning in, tweeting us, talking to us, watching all the action live as it's streamed across the world, live from Ireland. This is the biggest tournament of its kind to take part in this part of the world, and I've got to say it's been a true success so far.
It has.
Real excitement here
Look,
in Ireland.
If you have a Twitter feed, this is your Twitter feed, right? Let's see if you can squeeze into that, right? That's your Twitter feed. Go and give that a follow, and what you will get is you will get all the information over the next number of weeks. Now, when I say a number of weeks, I mean 10 weeks, right? Go and follow at Ireland's EStars. You get all the information over the 10 weeks. all the teams that are here tonight are all representing different League of Ireland football teams, and the reason we did that was not only because we've got a little link with the world of football, but also because geographically it means we can get right across Ireland.
Exactly, and what's happened tonight, we have had support from all across the country. We've had football fans getting in touch, people who just want to support their local team and have got hooked now to e-gaming as well, and that's what it's all about. We're bringing in a wider audience here tonight, people who maybe haven't watched this type of event before, but people are excited, they are loving it, and we've been enjoying it here as well.
Yeah, and one of the main reasons it's really good this evening is the fact that every single gamer who's here today has the opportunity to win themselves a share of €20,000 and also head to Las Vegas.
A trip to Las Vegas. I mean, we don't get events like this anymore. These are games that these guys have been practicing. They've spent hours, minutes, weeks, months getting this together, planning. Some of these teams hadn't even met before, but they put these teams together just for this event. But look, these are the stakes, aren't they? And they are pretty high.
This is not a game. So let's have a quick look at what's going on now. This is the inside of what happens in one of these games. Just if you can just pan across there. These are our next couple of teams, right? The first couple of teams you're going to see now are the 3 team, the chief sponsors of 3 Ireland's EStars, their official team. Also beside them, you will have the Bohemians lads. Now, they've been able to make lots of noise. Bose lads, make some noise for me. That wasn't a lot of noise, if I'm completely honest with you.
Come on, guys. Let's try a bit better than that. Let's show how excited we are. Can we have a bit of noise here now, guys? Thank you. Thank you. So we're just getting set up now for our next game. It is tense, you can feel it. The keyboards are getting plugged in. The mice mats, we haven't come to a conclusion that are getting set up. I'm not even going to distract these guys just yet. The fighting talk is yet to come though, and this is what it is all about. Getting these teams together, getting the support, making friendships as well. That's been happening here too. Although not between the teams, I have to say. There is no love lost, is there, Connor?
No love lost at all. Now we're heading north here. We've already had 3, as we said. Bose from Dublin, well represented. Let's head a bit north if we can, and the Derry lads. Now, Niall, you've seen the first couple of games this evening. How do you feel it's going to be different playing here in front of the amazing people on Twitch, in front of a camera, with the presenter, with a microphone, and also doing what you do every single day in front of a different kind of audience?
It's going to be no problem at all. I'm just going to smash everybody anyway, so just 1v9 as I usually do, you know.
Right, well, hold on a second. We had some big talk like that from our Limerick counterparts just before everything started earlier on, right? There was going to be smashing. There was going to be annihilations happen, but they're sitting over there, tail between their legs, because they'd never gone toe-to-toe with an opponent before. Now, your opponent over here is Sligo Rovers. What do you know about them?
Not a whole lot, to be honest.
Then why are you so confident that you're going to smash all around you?
Because I just smash all around me all the time. So.
Right. That's what Niall does. Right, let's see what the Sligo Rovers team have got and who they have on offer. And Holly?
Yes, we've got the Sligo Rovers who are all getting set up here as well. The concentration on their faces. Kevin, if you don't mind me asking you very quickly, I mean, how much preparation has gone into tonight for you?
Oh, a lot of preparation for the entire team. It takes a lot of dedication when you have a team that has never played together whatsoever. And to get together in such a short amount of time and get that amount of practice in, it really impressed me. And I feel like that's the case for every team in the tournament. So, but for specifically Sligo, we're practicing 3-4 times a week. And a lot of hours goes into that, so fair play to the lads.
It's great to have you here tonight. Now, I mean, we've already heard from the other teams so far who have already played out their matches. We've had disagreements in terms of tactics. Is that something that worries you at all, or do you tend to agree and come together as a team?
I think we've ironed out most of our kinks in practice, and I guess that's what you practice for, you know, especially when you haven't had that much time to glue as a team. It's important to just be honest and open with each other, so you can really realise where the mistakes are being made, and it's important not to take it to heart. You know, we all want to win, we all want to improve. So all the criticism is constructive, and none of it is negative, and none of it is toxic.
And Kevin, I mean, the stakes are high tonight. Have you ever done anything like this before? I mean, we've got a fantastic prize pot at stake and a holiday as well, of course. Does that pile on the pressure?
Okay.
I think yes and no. I mean, a lot of pressure comes with experience, and a lot of the guys, especially on the team, are quite experienced. So the pressure, I guess, kind of comes with kind of being new. So we have our top laner, for example. Victor is not he's quite new to the competitive scene, so I'd say there's a lot of pressure there. But yeah, the prize pool definitely, especially in games that are best of ones, puts a lot of pressure on the players. So it's important to just be confident and play like you would at home.
Really good advice there, Kevin, and we're going to let you continue to get set up. I think Connor's been speaking to some more of the teams who are just getting prepared. You can really feel the pressure is mounting in here as the next session gets underway in the next few minutes. Stay tuned. Connor, I'm going to head over to you now because you've got more team talk, some fighting talk, have you?
Yeah, I have got fighting talk now. All this is in association with two very good sponsors, Lucasade, Ireland's #1 energy drink. All right, so hello to all our friends at Lucasade. And there's been a bit of sort of, I don't know, there's been a bit of forward and back with the fact that we are 3 Ireland's EStars, right? And the fact that 3 are represented within the teams. Now, all our wonderful people from the likes of Bows, Sligo, the aforementioned St. Pat's, the winners in Cork, some of them sat back and went, well, hold on a second, if 3 have a team, surely the 3 team is going to be the best team. All the players picked at random. So introduce yourself to me, young fella, and tell me exactly how you see the next hour and a half of your life going.
So I'm Stephen, I'm Soccer Monster, I'm the support for Team 3. It should be interesting. I mean, personally, I'll be the most inexperienced person in this tournament now, but going forward, I mean, the last 6-7 years playing support, should be pretty confident. For the next hour, though, yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Now, have you been getting much abuse? Like I said, we are sponsored by 3, right? You are Team 3 because it worked out we had 10 teams, right? There were 9 League of Ireland teams represented, so we needed a 10th team, and it made perfect sense to make you Team 3. Have the League of Ireland teams, those across, I suppose, as far as the eye can see, have they been giving you much of abuse and saying, you know what, we're keeping an eye on you. You boys are going to be the favourites?
I've been flamed left, right and centre for most teams. I can just feel pretty much all eyes around me because I feel like people on the other teams know who I am. They know I'm going to be the weakest person going to this tournament, but they're pretty much in for a shock when they see what happens in the next 10 minutes.
Right, there'll be a lot of people on Twitch, there'll be a lot of people watching this who are watching this because they know somebody who knows somebody who's involved with this, because like I said, this is one of the biggest ever of these tournaments in Ireland, right? There's going to be people who've never watched this before, okay? So people who are looking to get into to gaming, looking to do it at the next level. Have you any advice for them?
It'll just be trial and error. It'll just be literally giving the game a shot. If you feel you're doing well, get a couple of friends involved. It'll literally get everyone on board. Yeah, it's pretty much a team game. The more the merrier. If you have to have a laugh with friends, then yeah, it should be good.
Right, so like I said, we've got teams represented from all over Ireland, and we represent them in the League of Ireland sense. Now, I've been a fan of the League of Ireland since I was probably smaller than that sign. And one team who have been very, I suppose, boisterous and known to be loud from a League of Ireland perspective are Bohemians. Holly, tell me about the Bows lads. Have we got a raucous bunch, or have we got a bunch who are more serene and quiet?
I'll be honest with you, Connor. Right now, the Bows lads look very quiet. They're very tense as they get logged in and set up. If you want to introduce yourself, first of all, and just tell me in terms of how much preparation for you has gone into this, and if you're feeling nervous, you're allowed to be.
I'm feeling a wee bit nervous, but like we've prepared well for this, and I think we'll probably win this, so pretty easy.
And in terms of your team, tell me about the team. Are you friends? Had you met before this, or has this brought you all together?
This brought us all together. Didn't really meet before, but like we've come close, and I've well bonded by now.
And when you've explained to other people what it is that you're doing tonight, what you're taking part in, I mean, what have you told them? Because sometimes it's very difficult to explain to people what it means.
Like I just told them I'm entering a tournament, and I just like sort of explained the game to them, but like, you know, parents don't really understand and stuff, but I tried my best to explain.
Did you tell your dad about the prize pot?
He was interested then, yeah, of course.
I bet he was. So talk to me about tactics. Tell me about your tactics tonight, what you're hoping to do.
Hoping to win, obviously, but, you know, we're just looking to snowball bot lane, and then hopefully from there win the game.
So are you feeling confident? And how about the rest of the team? Are you feeling confident, Bows lads? Come on, you can do better than that. Oh, that is serious fighting talk, Connor. What do you reckon? What do you reckon?
You see, I told you eventually the Bows lads would be noisy. Bows lads, are we noisy? Not so sure. The 3 lads are staying nice and quiet. Also, like I said, here we've got the Sligo lads, we've got the Derry City lads ready to go as well. But right throughout both games, you are going to be in the very, very capable hands of Nikita, the very capable hands of, well, I'll tell you what, Nikita, see if you can pronounce the name of the gentleman who you are casting with. Now, earlier on today, you had a few issues pronouncing his first name, so I'm going to throw you over now to Nikita. And Nikita, who's your co-caster?
What's up with that? Whoa.
Hi guys, and welcome back. So exciting first round of games. exactly what I wanted. Because at the end of the day, it was something that I really I was hoping for, was that we wouldn't have a favorite come in and just win Oisin. At the end of the day, you would really see, and we've seen an upset win, and I'm excited to see where and what happens in the next set of games.
Yeah, absolutely. As you can see, we have changed our attire a little bit, and what was it? You know, it's definitely a lot colder out here than we expected in the caster studio. So we are in our EStars jumpers. Mine's huge. But yeah, absolutely. Like, you don't want to run away. You don't want teams to kind of go after week 3 or 4 and go, well, we're out. You know, this teams are clearly going to win. And I definitely feel like the upset win will have a lot of kind of bearing on certain teams to kind of go, okay, cool, we need to play a little bit better or a little bit less confident or more prepared, probably a better word for against Cork City. Shamrock Rovers need to go back. They need to review what they've done. They go, cool, we need to figure out what we did wrong and come back stronger, because it's a huge, kind of upset as such, in the sense of, Shamrock Rovers were expected to come in, very, very strong, and they just haven't. But, we'll have to see how they come in next week, because we have more games to play.
Absolutely. I think there's 2 things I want to say. One, apparently I've been dared to pronounce your name correctly, which is Oisin. So there you go, Connor. 2, I know the mid laner was really upset about that loss. So important. Use that anger. And here we have Sligo Rovers against Derry City. Sligo row those sides. We have Kexius 1, 2, 3 in top, Dakin in jungle, Dragon Ship in mid, Devils in ADC, and Blue Bullberry in support. That's a tongue twister. Dex on the other side in top lane, Deadpool 10 in jungle, Fluky mid, Belfast as the ADC, and Robusta Monaghan in support.
Yeah, and these 2 teams, Sligo are the favourites of the tournament. They are stacked, full of great talent. Dakin, highest ranked jungler in the entire tournament. Dragon Ship has been around. He's a veteran of the scene. Blue Bullberry has had, several different iterations of kind of, relatively successful teams coming up as well. And Devils he's had, I think he has like 6 accounts that all get up to like Diamond 2 or Diamond 3 or something like that.
Okay.
So he is very, very good. It's, it's definitely going to be very difficult for Derry City, who have got a couple of, kind of high plat players going in there. It's going to be hard for them to really kind of break this team down.
There's something about Rovers being favourites of the tournament.
And they're going to lose.
But we saw what happened in the last game to the favourites. They lost. But now we're jumping into the other game. Let's see those 2 teams.
Yeah, and these 2 teams, it's going to be Team 3 versus Bohemians. So Team 3 have no allegiance to anybody. And Sean Kelly in that top side, Mindingus in the jungle, Peter Q in the mid lane, Wyaman Chung in ADC, and Stephen Walsh on support for Team 3. While on the side of Bohemians, they've got Red Panda in the top side, Limitless in the jungle, Beely Ray Dyrus in the mid lane, Ted Blonde and Burnsy on ADC. And honestly, these 2 teams, it could go either way, realistically. Bohemians have like a lot of consistently good players, whereas Sean Kelly in the topside Rengus, he's very good if he gets onto a carry champion. He is, considered to be one of the best top laners in Ireland, if not the best top laner in Ireland. It's going to be very difficult for teams to really try and get on top of him and really stop him here, as we see, teams just setting up, getting themselves ready. And I want to know how Team 3 really come out into this, because I can see Bohemians kind of overpowering them from every other lane.
Well, I know what our sponsors want to happen.
Bose.
They actually, Team 3 won a fair and competitive match where they win. That's definitely the goal there. You can see Connor in the back chatting to all the players. He's super excited about this. A little slip up earlier with the e-gaming, but we're teasing him about that, not letting him get away with that. I had an even better one. Was I was talking to one of the team members, and they were asking me about terrain. And I was like, what do you mean terrain? And I was thinking, terrain. I was like, I don't know, like, blah. And I was like, oh, patch. Oh my god, they're talking about patch. And he's gonna hate me for bringing this up, but it's just, can't let it go. This it's all about the terrain notes. So
absolutely, it's the terrain notes with the e-gaming, the e-players, and the e-commentators.
There we go.
Yeah, that's it. It's all e. Everything's electronic now. We're not real. We're ones and zeros.
No. And the weird thing is that everything online isn't even called e-anything. It's Internet of Things.
It's literally email, and that's it.
That's it. It's the only thing. But there we go. internet. We see the two teams getting set up there. You're talking about the top laner being so instrumental. I really like the patch at the moment. Sorry, the terrain we're on at the moment. 8.5. 8.4, we had a kind of obscene banner of command Baron combo that was just a little bit too overpowering. 8.5 is, you know, improving on things. And I touched on this before we stepped away at the last game, is that despite a lot of people saying that it is a tank meta, I don't think that's entirely accurate. I think there is a lot of flexibility of where you put your tankier members. Are you looking at jungle support? Do you want top jungle, top support? What type of, you know, because you can go very much carry in the top lane. We're even seeing, like, you know, Galio in the mid lane who has, like, some good, strong kind of tanky stats. I think we even saw Sai in mid. Do I remember that? It lost, but I feel like I remember that.
Possibly. I can't remember exactly, but we could possibly see
But it's those sorts of things. I think there is a lot of flexibility, and we're seeing a lot of opportunities around that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the meta does lend itself to that kind of a situation. And it is about meta, but also it's about comfort as well. Like, you know, I play Elise exclusively. She's garbage in any other competitive tier. Like, you know. So I wouldn't recommend playing her very often. But you know what you're good at, and that's what these teams kind of go with. But the higher level players will always have more to fall back on.
Absolutely, and that is it. And it's more of a range and the experience and how they're going to be actually finish things off. But now, so for people who are joining us, what's going to be happening is that every week we will have 5 matches. So 2 teams playing each other, 2 matches happening at the same time, another 2 matches happening at the same time, and then the home team match. So here Dundalk will be playing against, not too sure who in
Bray
the final.
Wanderers, I'm pretty sure.
You are, yep, no, you are right. They'll be playing in the final match up until then, and that will be over 9 weeks. So everyone will play each other. The top 4 teams will then go and play in the live final at the 3 Arena in Dublin. Well, we'll have the semi-finals and the final.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, why would we explain it when, you know, kind of the picks and why would we explain it to you when you can just see these players? I have the producers in my ear, and I'm very kind of like,
guess we're going to
picks and bans.
There we go. So as we can see, we have Sligo against Derry and 3 against the Bohemians. Interesting half forward. So we just get to see a bit of both. And we will be focusing, just so people know, we'll be focusing on one game now. This was just something that a little hiccup of swapping back and forth.
Experimental.
It's experimental. There we go.
We like to innovate on our broadcasts.
Yeah, there we go. Like, that's it. We're figuring things out. But as we were talking about before, like the teams, the upsets, and the format, consistency is so important. Doesn't matter how good you are. If you can be great, but if you're not consistently good, you're gonna fall out.
You really, really are. And
so, whoa, Sligo's banned Jace and Zillion.
Jace, Zillion, and Zaya.
Yeah,
they're
Zaya,
target
I
bans.
guess.
Target bans for
Zaya,
the first 2.
totally get. Brom, Kazakhs, I'm not sure Brom's worth a ban, but
it depends on how much emphasis you want to put on that bot lane. Braum is so good at just stopping you from engaging, and so good at just stopping things in general from coming at you, and the Kazakhs can take over games. Is a bit useless. Well, I wouldn't say useless, but definitely not as useful as other junglers in that late game. And you can see already there, the side of Derry, they take away the Caitlyn, they take away the Braum. They don't want a comfortable bot lane for the side of Sligo. And we've got a quick look at 3 versus Bohemians. As we see 3, they take away the Galio, which we talked about. You know, very strong global presence with that ultimate. You've got the Alistair and the Zaya. So we're seeing Zaya on both sides being banned. But this side, Bohemians, they do not want Rengus. I told you about Rengus.
I was going to say, you said it.
Yeah, 3 bans into that top side. Camille, Shen, and Fiora all banned away. But he just picks Sion. He doesn't care.
He doesn't. Well, I mean, why would you? And this is the problem, is like if you're drawing that many bans, you're doing a great job. But top lane is in such a good spot at the moment. I mean, even forgetting Sion, they could go for Maokai, Cho'Gath, Trundle as a counter pick to another tank, and all of those are very strong. You know, maybe they're scared of the Fiora Camille split push, but Trundle split push can be so difficult to handle and deal with. Going back to the other one, Jin and Swain. Now, Swain is a pick that's been talked about quite a bit and potentially can be very strong. Interestingly, people expected the mobile assassins to be good against him, but I think he's worked quite well against them.
He's received a few buffs. He's kind of gotten. He was, when he first came out, it was kind of universally said his rework was garbage and he wasn't worth picking, so they kind of buffed his numbers quite a bit. And it does get to a point in kind of mid to late game team fights where he just doesn't take enough damage to be, kind of to really take him down. He can become a monster in that mid to late game team fight if the conditions are correct. So combo that with a Morgana who is coming back into support meta because that black shield is so powerful and that dark binding lasts so damn long. When you're CC'd for 2.5, 3 seconds, that's an eternity in League of Legends. It's huge for them.
The hitbox.
It's
rubbish hitbox.
I know, right? It's
top the lane. Come on, guys.
Absolutely. But it's definitely something that Derry obviously are comfortable with. They want to keep the Jhin safe. Jin's kind of fallen off a bit because he doesn't have that consistent auto attack damage. He does 4 auto attacks, then has to reset. It's kind of a little bit pitchy and patchy, so he's a bit more of a kind of a spellcaster rather than an auto attacker. But we are seeing the bans coming in as well. We see Sion and Fiora banned by Sligo, with Echo and Azir banned by Derry. So we're seeing that Poppy, actually we never even touched on that Poppy going up into that top side, and Kane picked up for Sligo.
So Derry actually has, I like Derry's team comp. Morgana, obviously, Black Shield, the binding, awesome. Sejuani can control so much, and Swain as well, that actually they kept creating quite a nice protection around Jhin, who could take over. He has still, slower auto attack damage, but still can do a lot of damage, can really pop off. So that'd be interesting. Now, Kane I haven't seen in a long time.
He kind of is one of those junglers because he's got the red cane and the blue cane. They do very different things. You have to make a decision and stuff like that. Red cane, arguably the better one. Blue cane, the more fun one to go with. And it's one of those things that Kane is very hot and cold. He either pops off or he does nothing, and it can really hurt your team, especially on Sligo. But Dakin feels confident on it. He feels like he can go toe-to-toe in this one. But like you say, just the last there, Olaf picked up there by Derry, and I really like Olaf right now.
Oh, I love Olaf, but I love Olaf in the jungle. And then we have Sejuani in the jungle, who is also a power pick. So maybe they're double jungling. Maybe we're going back to that meta. We're just double jungle meta, which I hated. God, that was an awful meta. On the other side, though, 3 drafted a really good team. We see Sejuani, jungle, Corky, and probably bot lane. I'd imagine Jace would go. Oh, no, sorry, Jace top. Yeah, sorry, in the Ezreal. So very solid team pick there. It is a bit surprising that Jace is there in the top lane, but against a Sion, I haven't seen that matchup.
It's not a very common matchup. Jace is very much a kind of he snowballs hard. He's got good poke, but he does fall off if you can catch onto him. He's not got a huge amount of escapes once he gets CC onto him. But the thing with it is, it's on Rengus. It's on Team 3. He's got a carry champion now. He's got someone who he can dictate the pace of those side lanes. He's got something that he can actually go in and really jump on top of people with, literally with the 2 disguise and the knockback. So I'm very, very interested to see how they play around Rengus's Jace, and if there is going to be a huge amount of substance to that, because it's going to be definitely a little bit more difficult to deal with him coming into the game, but we actually don't know which game we're going to be looking at. We actually don't know which of the 2 we're going to be actually watching.
Yeah, we'll see.
I hope it's Sligo and Derry, to be
so
honest.
do I, yeah. Well, at the same time, I'd like to see Team 3.
I don't know. I feel Team 3 is like all the eggs in one basket. It's like, go Rengus, go!
Yeah, that's a good point. And the Derry one is going to be like both of them, and like that's the great thing about it. It's so much to watch, so much to do. I'm a big fan of Jace as well. So he's another one of my champs that it's like Elise, Jace. There is a kind of like a pattern in that I like the more things that they do. Otherwise known as OP, on release, nerfed, and then I drop it. When you want to hit bronze 1, you gotta play this. It's gotta abuse those champs. I wouldn't, but Sion, I think if you can survive until 6, could be such a pain.
Yeah, it depends on if Sion is going to be playing that split push. Jace wants to be in the side lanes. Yeah. Jace wants to be away from the rest of the team, just putting down pressure. If Sion is able to absorb that pressure and make Jace irrelevant, that's huge for the other team. And Sion is going to need to do a lot in that particular matchup. A Banner of Command minion won't do a lot for him because Jace is AD. He will be able to melt that one fairly quickly, but it should be interesting. Rengus has got a lot of weight on his shoulders. He's got a lot of stuff to do. He's got a lot of kind of things to go, but you can see them there. They're just getting back into bans, going through the full official, kind of picks and stuff like that. I really do hope they're in order. That'd be very handy,
That would be nice,
just so we can compare,
It is a nice little thing. Small things that are going to be smoothed out over the course of the tournament, but definitely things are going to get better. but it's definitely, you're right, I think it is eggs all in one basket. I'm curious to see the impact that the Jin will have, because he was so important last year. He's fallen off when we started to see new champions, you know, Zaya being so strong, Varus on the other side. Interestingly, like, I know Braum is really good, but why not Tam Kench? Why not Thresh?
This is the thing in my research.
I like Braum, but I actually feel like his impact is somewhat overstated.
It depends. I actually, in my research of all these players, very few play Tam Kench at all. So Braum's priority then just jumps a ton because all of a sudden,
if you don't play Tam Kench,
that's it. Like, so if he doesn't play, if you don't play those champions, you're at a real big disadvantage because you're all of a sudden your champion pool just becomes narrower and narrower and narrower. Thresh has always really been there, but you have to be a playmaker with him. You have to be catching people out with those hooks. You have to be the one engaging.
This is the time to be doing that. Like, I mean, it's Tam Kench, Thresh, and the influence of supports on the whole map is huge, and there are a lot of opportunities around there. Really interesting. Like, so I love Olaf. I think he can put so much pressure in a lane. Obviously, he's now a jungle pick, but I still think he can work in top lane. Especially if you know how to use him.
Oh, that's it. Like his level 1 is so annoying. Like, it's just the undertow, axe throw, and you're slowed, picks it up, throws it again, picks it up, throws it again. You will have to flash if you do get caught by that, because, you know, if they can hit it twice, there's no other way to get away from other than just flashing away. I would like to see maybe they go with the ghosts on that Olaf in that top side. If it is Olaf top, could be Sejuani. You never know, but it could be one of those two things.
To me, it would make sense to put Olaf top and have Sejuani.
Oh yeah, it would make sense.
Of, like, but it would. Yeah. Here we are. Like, I mean, just
but this doesn't necessarily have to make sense.
No, it doesn't. We can definitely, anything can happen in 3 Island EStars.
Yeah, anything is possible if you just believe. If you just believe. But again, I think we're mixing up the drafts a little bit. We only get a quick moment to look at them and we kind of forget who was on what team and stuff like that. But you can see the guys there, Sligo, they're going to be feeling confident. They got to be feeling confident. They know they're coming in as arguably the best team as a collective skill set. Johnny and Devils, you see them there on the left-hand side there in the middle, and just kind of one then to the left, his right of him. They're really, really solid players. They always have been solid players, you know. It's going to be kind of more on their leadership to be able to pull their team forward with them. And that's a big thing as well in these tournaments, is that, like you talked about in our first game, is that it's not just about your in-game play. It's about leadership, pulling up the players and making sure that they perform to their best potential as well.
Absolutely, and it's just like looking at it, it's also the evolution. Guys, they have to remember it's week 1. There's a lot more to it. What happened? Why did it happen? And how do you pull it back? Because as much as like Shamrock Rovers lost last game, and it wasn't something we expected, there was a moment where they started to get back into the game. And so it's like, okay, can they fix that? How do they figure it out? And how do we get back into it? Definitely some opinionated players are there. They really believe in themselves, and they think they're definitely going to smash the opponents, and that's exciting. I'm looking forward to some of the Twitter banter, the back and forth, and we see everyone's loading in. I'm pretty sure Sejuani there I can see is jungle. Looks like a smite, but they're loading into the games, and we'll be hopping over into it fairly soon. I know
does
that
look like an issue though. Looks like a
slight
issue there.
Slight technical issue.
Hopefully it'll be fixed fairly soon.
The guy doesn't know how to put his headset onto his head, so he's called over a technician. Wasn't sure what went where and how. Guys, if you are in Dundalk, if you're nearby, come on over. We're at the Oriole Football Club. You can sit in the bar, have a couple of drinks, hang out, meet some of the players, meet some other League of Legends fans, and talk esports. But so these 2 matches, this is really just starting us off and kind of giving, like, you know a lot of the players. I've researched them. I don't know them anywhere near as well as you do. But this is, I feel like we're starting to build the narrative. We're starting to understand, okay, who is good, who's clicking, who's not clicking, how will it work out? Because, I mean, the Rovers could be the Team Liquid. Team Liquid of our league.
Wow, that's saying something right
there. Did they pay $1 million for their top laner? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows this stage? But absolutely, and like we talked about it a lot in the previous kind of game, or before the previous game, cohesion and consistent results are what are going to get you to that top 4 spot. And yes, fair enough. You would want to be going in as the #1 undefeated seed, but at the same time, if you make 4, you're going to the 3 arena. You're going to the finals. It doesn't matter as long as you go to the top 4. And that's what these teams are aiming for right now. That's what they're looking to try and get. I want to see if we see a progression of kind of, because it is a very long season. It's 9 games, you know, and it doesn't seem that, or 9 weeks of 9, or sorry, 9 weeks of 9 games. Yeah,
yes.
So yeah.
But for people who aren't aware of how long there's,
it's 9 weeks, 9 games. So there's plenty of time for developments. There's plenty of time for teams to actually kind of, you know, work on things. I want to see if, you know, the likes of Shamrock Rovers, you know, the likes of Limerick City, do they come back into this? Do they find the stuff that works for them? Do they pick off a win or two? Do they try and push themselves up towards those playoff spots? Because that's where it is. If you're not making that, it's kind of unfortunate, but your season's over after that.
Absolutely, and we will see that down the line, but they do need to recognize, okay, like, well, what went wrong? How do they improve it? It's exactly what you said. But then on the flip side, the weaker teams, what is it that they understand? Was that win, that Cork win, really set up because of the comfort picks? Do those get taken away and suddenly they don't know how to react to it? Or is it just a cohesion and they look into it? And then research. You have one opponent, find out how they play, what they like to do, and you have a whole week to prepare your game, but also understanding the opponent's game. I think that's so important.
That is it, and we talked about it a bit. It's homework. It's just doing your homework. It's doing your due diligence, because this is $20K and a trip to Las Vegas if you win. Like, the winners are going away with a massive prize. Like, I wish I was going. Like, you know what I mean? If I was anyway good at the game, I would be in that.
Wait, sorry, did I say finals are 3 arena? I mean, the finals are the playoffs. The semi-finals are 3 arena. The finals are going to be in Vegas.
Yeah, imagine.
And the winners and the casters.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that
would be great to just like slip us, like, you know, it's like, there's your tickets to Las Vegas. Sure. Like, you know, stay in the MCM ground.
Do I look like any of them? Do you look like any of them?
No, I look nothing like
terrible accident happens in 3 arena. We have to step in, you know, like it's like
they just have to go with it, you know.
Yeah,
but
it's just the role.
It's just the way it is.
It
you
is.
know?
And we will. And look, sponsors, we'll rep you. We'll rep you the whole way. I will like carry Lucasade. I've got Peak. We have like 3 right behind me. Anything, I will do it all. Just like I have no shame.
I was about to say, I was just like, you know, drop back a little bit.
Next stream, I'll be eating my lovely 4-star pizza right here,
with
quenching my thirst and re-energizing myself with Lucasade energy. It's great for you. Checking my calls and a couple of texts on my Razer phone from 3 Network. And we're excited. We're in the game, so I'm getting told by our producer, stop it. They didn't pay that enough.
And we are in-game. It is the game we wanted. It is Sligo Rovers versus Derry City. This is the one we wanted to look at. I want to see Sligo really come out of the woodworks here. I really want to see them come out punching and going for stuff. I don't want to see a slow, methodical win. I want to see blood.
Oh, well, they have to, especially with Kane in the jungle. Yeah. He's got to really make his presence known. We've got Olaf in the top lane. We've got Sejuani in the jungle. On the side of Derry, they just have such a... an opportunity. Like, they have a very good, solid team comp. The only one that I'm surprised at is the Jin, and even then, like, I can see him just sitting in the back line and just long range poke.
If he gets the opportunity, there's a lot of kind of, you know, a lot of tanky figures apart from the Jin, obviously, on the side of Derry City, and they've got a lot of ways of going in, but that Tarek ultimate we talked about in the last game, you get that perfect ultimate where you get 3 or 2.5, 3 seconds of invulnerability. That's huge. That's massive. You could waste so much of the damage that's available from the side of Derry City onto Sligo just based off of the timing of that ultimate. So it's definitely more so on the side of, you know, Derry to make the plays. They also got to be able to kind of disengage and get the, you know, the kind of fight into the conditions they want.
Absolutely. An interesting reaction on the side of Sligo to react to the Swain with Victor. And I'll try to remember his name. Victor, who is another, like, good high damage, fairly bursty, or can be very bursty, but not highly mobile. So how does he react to all the lockdown options coming up, Sejuani, Swain, and Morgana?
With Victor, it's all about zone control. It's all about using your gravity field to really push back the team, make sure they can't go from this angle because of that, they can't go from this angle because of your ultimate, the Chaos Storm. It's all about controlling the lane. If you're losing control of the lane, you don't know where everyone is, you don't know where to put your stuff, you lose as a Victor. It's very much, he's very high damage, very safe, has got a lot of potential to be able to do as much as he possibly can. But he has to be able to control. That's his big kind of win condition as such. But it shouldn't be that difficult as such. Like, yes, if he does get hit by Morgana binding, it's probably just going to be CC onto CC onto CC onto CC. Like this, as we're just seeing the combo of the Jhin and the Morgana, and it's going to be a very bad time for him. But once that stuff misses, there's not a huge amount from Derry to actually push in with.
Absolutely, and on the other side, the Varus and Tarek, we're talking about it, like the Morgana's the only one with some CC, but once Varus gets unlocked, he gets his ultimate. Tarek in the right positioning can really put a lot of pressure in the lane, and we saw it in the last game. Good Tarek ultimates, good positioning coming from the jungler, able to turn things around, and it'll be interesting to see what impact Kane has, what path he chooses to go down, and how he itemizes.
I'll be curious to see, but this early game is going to be fairly non-interesting. It's just going to be kind of, teams just feeling each other out. You don't want to give away, you don't want to be the Shamrock Rovers of the second game, realistically. You don't want to be that, unfortunately. But I feel like Dragonship should be able to control this mid lane. He is on that Victor against the Swain. He's already 9, possibly 10 CS up. The wave is pushing into him, but Swain just takes so long to build up. He's not very long range, so to get any kind of harass down, he needs to be relatively close. It's just very difficult for him to do anything unless he gets some jungler help, and that's what we're going to hopefully see coming out from the Sejuani.
They're definitely set up, like they have the champions to be able to enable him, but he is tough to play. His positioning is so important, and pressuring the opponent in lane is definitely a huge thing. But 2v2, I definitely rate Swain Sejuani over King.
Yeah, definitely.
In a head-to-head, straight up. Like, so in that sort of situation, it's like, again, it comes down to the jungler. What can Sejuani do? But great double stun coming out of the Tarek.
Yeah, but replied with another kind of constant CC there from the bot lane of Derry City, as you see Olaf getting a lot of damage down onto him. Dex, he needs to be so careful. That Poppy has got a deceptively strong mid game, or sorry, deceptively strong early game. Does not need to be catching himself out that early or that often as such. He's going to back away. You can see him there on the mini-map just backing away completely. He's probably just going to TP back into lane, catch that wave, make sure he doesn't die, and that's kind of half the battle. You just don't give up any big kind of mistakes as such, especially in this early game.
They definitely do, and when we're looking at the side of Sligo, they're definitely set up. Whilst Kane is a bit of an unusual one, he's definitely set up in the right way. Poppy in the top, good tank, good engage, good tanker, but here we have it, something coming in. Is that going to be the end? No, good flash to get out. Low on mana, wasn't much of a replay. Good gank though coming out of Kane.
Yeah, recognizing that the Swain did not have mana, realizing there was an opportunity to get summoners there. Good gravity field as well from Dragonship means that he's able to just force out summoners, and that just becomes even more relevant towards these mid-game fights. To see Kane able to very, very easily just jump out on top of those kind of, very interesting. He's got an ability that lets him go through walls. It's very kind of annoying to deal with, but it's something you always have to be aware of if you're on the side of Derry City and Sligo. Already feeling stronger and feeling a little bit more confident in this early game.
But that is it, isn't it? It's like, I wonder how much experience they have against the Kane jungle. And it's something like, it hasn't been around for a long time. Like, it was popular, I guess, on release.
Oh yeah, he was broken.
But since then, we haven't really seen much of him. And so it's easy, a couple of patches is a long time. And when we're talking about last year, that's a really long time in league. That's actually, that is always it. You see those things of like Shrek was made 20 years ago.
I hate those. They make me feel old.
That makes me feel old. It's like, release. 5 years since release. And I was like, what? I remember when she was released. I loved her.
Yeah, she was great. But
I still do.
Yeah, she's always got to be, always holds a special place in your heart when you spend like X amount of games
with
a champion. But yeah, like Kane is one of those champions that you can kind of forget about a little bit, and you need to kind of re-immerse yourself as such with how exactly they go about it, and it's definitely something that they need to be a little bit more careful of. They need to make sure that they're ready for it. They're not giving up any kind of silly objectives or any silly fights just because they can't remember what a Kane did. But this is where Olaf really comes into shine. The lower his health gets, the more passive kind of attack speed he gets, which just combos so well with his W, which gives him instant lifesteal on every single auto attack. So you might think you're winning a trade, but then 2 seconds later, he's just a little bit more health than you, and then all of a sudden, 4 seconds later, you're screwed.
And you also can't forget the true damage.
Yes.
Which is so important.
It's absolutely massive. And see that Dakin is going to find out Deadpool.
Kane is in a bit of a bad spot. Jumps in with his ultimate, but is now about to escape with that very pesky... what's he been going through?
I honestly cannot remember the exact ability. Well, I haven't seen him in a very long time. He did get out, though, unfortunately, for the side of Derry. They were not able to capitalise on that little bit of an overextension. As I say that, though, Belfast forced to flash away. Blue Bull very aggressive with that flash and stun as well. Fluky trying to just stave off right now in the mid lane. He's already 15 CS down. It's just not looking super strong for him at all. Does get pulled under tower, though. Takes a lot of damage, and that's going to be a nice little trade-off for him. So Victor needs to still be careful. Has got pots, will be able to pot, keep himself sustained and up in this game. But also needs to be very, very careful not to get too cocky.
But Belfast now is down his flash, and that's what we're talking about. You know, the lack of mobility coming out of Jin makes it dangerous. Now, okay, yeah, Varus not mobile either, but he has that level of CC that can be also annoying, and it's not just Morgana Jin that have the CC. Varus also has the damage and the early game spike if he can get that first item.
Yeah, we see actually the AD carries went back. Berserker Greaves there for Devils on this Varus, so just using escapability and a little bit of extra attack speed on this Varus to keep him relevant in the lane. Double Longsword onto a serrated Dirk for the Jin, so he's going up towards that Dustblade and or Yomu's. You'd imagine both. He goes with the Armor Pen build nowadays. We're already seeing more and more advantages kind of slowly creeping up, but this Sejuani hasn't been as impactful. It is level 6 now, so we'll have that, you know, Glacial Prison to be able to chuck onto someone if they do find the right opportunity. But unfortunately, Belfast, he's got Jin in his name, but he is not having a fun time.
No, it's definitely not a great lane. And we can see that Sligo is definitely pulling ahead, at least in CS, in the mid lane and the bot lane. So that's where the impact and the gold advantage is coming from. Good bot lane pressure that they're able to put on. We'll have to see how things scale, but we can see that the bot lane control and so on with the Kayn in the bot jungle. I wouldn't be surprised to see someone trying to make a push on Dragon, which is an Infernal Drake and a big pickup.
Usually, though, when you see junglers kind of, hovering around sides of the jungle, it's kind of to try and get a kill, especially coming up to 10 minutes now. Items are starting to get not huge, but they're still big enough to take people down. And it's kind of getting scary at the moment because Kayn hasn't done much, Sejuani hasn't done much. The Swain Flash is back now at this stage. So all that kind of early game pressure just not able to be converted into anything really meaningful for the side of Sligo Rovers. So they look for something here. Sejuani is in this bot side. They will not land the binding. Belfast taking so much poke damage. They have got a pink ward though in favour of Sligo in that river bush. So they won't be getting caught out just yet. I feel like if that binding had landed, we would have seen the Sejuani over the wall instantly.
Absolutely, but I will also point out that, like, as much as we're saying Sejuani hasn't done much, it's not like Sligo has given them a lot of opportunities.
Oh, absolutely.
It's good reading on the map, good push and pressuring, and it seems like they recognize that, you know what, they don't have to be aggressive. They're not the ones who have to be on the front foot. And again, one of those things, it's like you read it so often, it's like, how do you climb? Mechanics. Just learn the basics. If you can CS well, you will automatically start scaling higher because you just have more gold, full stop. And if they recognize that, you know what, we can just beat them by being better at the core mechanics of the game, and they're doing a really good job of it. Look at this, like, great trading, understanding of Poppy's advantages, and we see Olaf having to pull back.
Yeah, Poppy going to be very annoying. Olaf just pulling back, maybe running into Kayn. Actually, see him on the mini-map. He is in that kind of, Krugs area. We'll be able to collapse onto this, and that is exactly what the side of Sligo are doing. They're using the ward as bait. Now we're going to see the flash and the ultimate. Great flash and ultimate there from the Olaf, but he has to get out. That's the key here. He needs to be able to get out alive. Dakin goes in with the ultimate. They are going to use the Poppy to tank, but like I said, the Olaf so deceptively tanky. Poppy taking a huge amount of damage from the tower, but in the end, they do get first blood over onto the Kayn.
It's much closer than expected. I actually thought the Olaf might turn that around the right way. He had a good flash to get out of there. Got caught, unfortunately. just doesn't have the damage items to be able to actually unleash there. But like you said, you know, his kit means that once he's lower on health, that's where he's so dangerous. He gets the steroid on the attack speed, he gets the vampirism, which gives him some regen, and then he also has the true damage, which is huge. And that's why normally when we see him in the jungle, they don't pop their pots until very late on, and they play that game where it's like low health Olaf, because it enables them to clear the jungle faster.
Yeah, Olaf does give over first blood. Unfortunately to him, does go over to the Poppy, and is going to be a pretty little advantage there for Sligo Rovers as they try and gain full control of this game. Robster just trying to find Blue Bullberry, both warding up this jungle. They know it's a very real objective that could be coming out very, very soon. This Poppy pick, though, into Dex's Olaf has proven to be pretty damn useful. We're seeing a CS lead, got the kill, not really losing trades, as you see here. It's definitely something that's working out for him. In fact, he's actually just kind of bullying Dex out of here right now.
Yeah, he's definitely very good on the Poppy, and again, it goes back to what we discussed before, comfort picks. So this is Ovi. Kekias is very good on his Poppy, understands the champion and the limits of it and how to play it. He's got the great skin, which is tells you he's a pro at it.
Star Guardian skin
exactly,
is best.
Star Guardian is the best one. And let your opponent know that you have the money to win the game. But is bullying and able to kind of apply that pressure. Good thing is that Olaf is not falling behind in farm. So still staying relevant, building tank, which is good, and it's always going to be useful. And so we're looking at that. But I want to see more out of Sejuani. Kane has been a real presence, got the assist, helped secure first blood. Where's Sedge?
Yeah, that's a big question. Dakin now taking the red buff. They are going to jump into him. He has got the wall kind of wall transversing to be able to get him out of there. Pretty damn unscathed. Victor does come up as well to try and help him out. But he's just kind of being a nuisance, trying to just kind of push down the, you know, the advantages that he has. Olaf is here to defend Deadpool, but he might be in a little bit of trouble as Victor and Poppy are around the corner. Swain did go back, so they have no pressure in that mid lane. TP is now down. Dakin, he feels strong, but, you know, how strong is this, you know, kind of Kane going to be coming into this mid game?
And this is the thing, is that it's Kane that is actually making me a little bit lost here. I'm not sure of my knowledge of the champion's outdated, but we've been seeing him doing a really good job of controlling the map. Multiple ganks, good impact, and also a bit able to invade the jungle. So he's about 10 CS ahead of Sejuani. Now, of course, CS and jungle are a bit harder to predict, but I've been watching him and he's been regularly going into that top side. We just saw him steal the red buff, which is a huge kind of like XP boost, and we're seeing him just slowly getting ahead and that's kind of what all of Sligo is doing, you know, just winning through good solid mechanics and a foundational play, and that's what's setting them, you know, a good 2.5k up.
Yeah, it really is kind of putting them, you know, very much in control of this game. And I wanted to see blood. I'm not going to see blood. This is going to be a slow, methodical kind of push in, get the advantages in the lanes, get everyone ahead on CS, and it's working for them, but it's just boring to watch, unfortunately. But you'd imagine it will end up becoming a moment where Derry have to make a decision. They have to try and find out where they find an advantage, if any at all. And that's going to be a flash in by Blue Bullberry. Uses the Ignite, gets exhausted down as well. He gets deleted. He is still tanking at the turret. And then it's going to be the Morgana going down. And not a lot they can do on the side of, you know, Derry City. There's just really nothing else there for them to go for.
If you're missing those undertows, that's a big issue, but he managed to hit them now. Kexius misses the stun there, could have repositioned, but now Dex is pulling back when actually he's kind of strong. Should be, you know, when you're hitting that below 50%, that's where you need to push in. But Sejuani getting caught out, and it is now 3-0. Are they going to be able to turn this around onto Kane? But it looks like no, he's pulling back. Dex there is now popping his unstoppable. Understanding the mechanics, he's low. Can he finish off the true damage? Yes, so close! Getting the kill. Olaf taking out the Poppy. But Sligo recognizing the opportunity, securing first Drake for them, an Infernal one, which is a pretty important one.
Yeah, we talked about the kind of, you know, you think you have the Olaf, but you don't really, unfortunately, and Poppy just not really able to turn that one around, unfortunately, for him. But, like you said, silver linings, Infernal Drake does go over to the side of Sligo Rovers. They're going to be pretty damn happy with that. And honestly, in the terms of from mid lane down to the spot lane, they have total control.
Yeah, and good on the Kexis to be able to make the call and sorry, not Kexis, the other.
Yes.
To make that call and trust in his kind of kit to be able to win it. Because when you go that low, so often you want to run away, but Poppy has the ranged attack that could have come up in a second, or the dash in. But yeah, so there we go. A little bit more gold on the side of Derry, but definitely Sligo looking ahead.
Yeah, Sligo definitely feeling like they're the ones dictating the pace. They're the ones who are kind of pushing forward with this one. You see there, everyone apart from Victor has contributed in some way to the kills that they have accumulated for themselves. 17 minutes in, they've already got themselves a 3,000 gold lead. It's just slowly but surely they're building up farm leaves. 10 in the top side, 20 in the in the jungle, 20 in the mid lane, 20 in the bot lane. It's little things like that that just kind of help them out so much. As Fluky gets the Chaos Storm down on top of him, that will do a lot of damage. Flash in, going to be flashed again, rooted. Dragon Ship forced to use that cleanse very, very early just because he could not stay under tower much longer. If the Morgana had to come in and binded him, he would have been dead. But Flash is now burned. That can come in now trying to deal something onto Rubster, but a bot lane turret is going to be going down. That's going to be first brick going over to the side of Sligo.
So we can see this, you know, like we're not, like you're saying, the 20 kills. Flash coming out there, but it looks like it's going to be deleted by the Kane. Actually,
no, not quite.
No, that's it. And it's Dakin now being caught out in an odd little spot. Dragon Ship getting caught out by Deadpool. The solo kill from the Sejuani. Did not expect that. Dakin, though, being a slippery fellow and managing to get away.
Yeah, Dakin was the one you would imagine who would have been killed off on that one. Fluky now being jumped on by the Poppy, and he just gets a nice kill there, but they're able to turn that one straight back around. No flash available. As I say that, though, here comes the cavalry as Sligo coming in on top of this fight. The Tarek ultimate we said was going to be huge. They eventually get it down just in time to save Poppy. It ends up being 2 more kills going over to Sligo. They're looking for the mid lane turret. There's a lot of wave cleared, though. They're going to have to go back and reset.
How did Sligo, how did the top lane Poppy not die? So low, great tower call, gets into the rain, pops it, survives, and a turnaround. You wanted more kills, we have more kills now. But what I was actually trying to say is that at that time, like you said, 20 more CS on the jungler, 20 more CS on the mid lane, 20 more CS on the bot lane, actually about 35 at the moment. That's another, should we say, 3 kills. So it's like when you're looking at the gold and first tower, but we're looking at like 9-2 plus first tower. And this is this lead that is actually starting to look a little bit insurmountable.
It's looking very, very dangerous right now. And you just got to feel like Derry, they're going to have to try and find some kind of a mistake coming out from Sligo. They're going to have to find something really, really good for them, because at the moment it's just nothing going for them at all. They have got 1 or 2 kills, or exactly 2 kills, and it just hasn't really worked out for them. Sligo have gotten out with, you know, slivers of health. We saw it on 1 or 2 occasions now already. The Victor is getting to a point where he can potentially one-shot this Jhin, so there's just not a huge amount available to them. They have the utility available to them available on the side of Sligo. It's all about what they do with this lead. That's how people, you know if a team's going to be good or not. If they can convert a lead into an actual win, that's a good team.
Absolutely, and we saw Cork struggle with it. Now we have Sligo, who have a significant lead. They've got the advantage, they've got the map control. What can they do with that? And the thing is when I look at Derry, it's kind of, you think like, okay, you know what, they're a pretty good team fighting team. Nice little steal there coming out of the Victor, gotta acknowledge that. But you look, okay, so they can team fight.
Yeah.
You know, let's group go as 5. But it's not like Sligo can't team fight either.
Yeah, and as you say that, they're actually going to see a little bit of a skirmish. Fluky popping the ultimate. They're actually going to jump in and put the ultimate from the Sejuani onto this Poppy, but she has got the disengage. Olaf did not pop his ult in time, so he gets CC'd back. He gets knocked all the way back. Top lane turret does go down to the Varus and Tarek, given all the pressure that was being put down onto that bot side and mid. And honestly, right now, it's just push in, push in. There's just nothing that Derry can do. Dakin, you can see him. He's looking for something. Will jump onto Sejuani. Not afraid at all. Should be a little bit afraid, though. That Sejuani is fairly tanky. They do get the stun down onto Dakin. And back him up. Blue Bulgarian Devils, though, were pushed up. So if everything was needed, they should have been able to join that fight. But in the end of it all, nothing actually happens.
This is basically death by 1,000 cuts. We can see mid lane just dropped off now. Top lane's gone, bottom lane's gone. Small CS advantage that's become bigger CS advantage, which converts into kills, which converts into objectives, and rinse and repeat. But Derry definitely have to figure out what are they doing. Rob Monahan has to hit those. It's not enough. Like, you can't just be missing. If you're Morgana, that's what we want you to do.
That's your
black
that's kind of your
shield,
whole thing.
black shield, and a stun, basically.
Yeah.
And actually, I'd put it in the other way. Stun, then black shield.
Well, depending on how the enemy come at you, but yeah. It is kind of one of those things, like you said, you know, death of 1,000 cuts, and it's definitely looking like that. It's just constant CS battles. Now it's 40 CS in that mid lane. Now it's 40 CS in that bot lane. 20 CS in the jungle. 2 kills up as well. Like, it's small things like this that just kind of, you know, really cement you into that gold lead. But Dragon being live, it's another Infernal. That could not be any better for the side of Sligo. They'll get that double Infernal stacking onto them, and that's an
And they're ready on it. Look at that. 3 on it. Kane, no hesitation, jumps straight on it. It's gone before Derry can even react. And I'm looking down in the bot lane. You know, Varus is sitting on 2.5 items, should we say. And Jin is sitting on 1.
Oh dear, Sejuani.
Not good. Sejuani, but so tanky.
So tanky, but there's a lot of CC. He's not that tanky. Olaf forced to use the ultimate as well. That's a 5-man dive into that bot side. But on the top side, you do see Derry pushing in that top lane turret. They will look to just try and trade out a tier 1 for a tier 2. Sligo will be more than happy to take that trade. They do lose top turret tier 1. Like I said, they will be able to take this one now. No bother whatsoever. Olaf, no ult.
Such a good game. Good job with zoning. And the thing is, it's like, this is what happens. Yeah, you trade the tier 2 for the tier 1, but it's the other team that's on the back foot, because if you want to keep going, great, then they take an inhibitor tower. What are you going to take? Our tier 2 at that point? Great, we'll take your inhibitor. It's a losing race, especially when they have more members there. So we see them backing up. They rotate, good rotation to mid. They take out Swain. Jin trying to do something from the back end, but doesn't seem to be much, especially against Poppy, who's the most tanky member. Dakin is just not afraid. I'm liking this Kane pick. Great ultimate coming out of Tarek, and the whole team disengages. That mid tier 2 turret has been taken away, and now the whole map has been opened up. And it's a very dangerous jungle when you have a Kane who is tanky enough to dive your team and isn't afraid of you.
It was a dangerous game already, but as you said, the map's been opened up so much right now. There's so much advantages coming out now for the side of Sligo Rovers. Yes, they gave up a tier 1 in the top lane, but they've gained so much more from it. They own everything pretty much from the top lane tier 2 down. There's nothing outside of Derry's base that they can actually feel confident going in. You see there, Robster just using the trinket to get rid of these sight wards, to get rid of vision, really try and just kind of, you know, get some kind of a foothold back into this game. They're going to ward up the Baron because they know that that's most likely going to be the next objective that the side of Sligo will contest. But Sligo, they don't look like they're really afraid. They probably could still go for this and still come out on top. That's how strong and how far ahead they are.
But once again, we see them playing it correctly. They're going to push out the lanes, look for mid priority, push that in, and then rotate to Baron. And it's going to be on Derry to react to that. And how do they react to that? Because it is a losing play. Like, if they ignore them, they grab Baron. If they go and confront them, then their towers and stuff are getting pushed in and they're taking damage. And at the end of the day, Sligo wants the fight. So come on in. Like, come try and stop us. And they can bait it in. And it's so dangerous because if Derry lose that fight, they grab Baron, it could be the game. And we've already seen one sub 30-minute game.
We have indeed, and it's 25 minutes now, so they've got a little bit of work to do if they want to make that happen for them. Dakin does get binded up, but does walk away fairly unscathed. You see now Deadpool and Robster just trying to clear the vision again. They want to establish control over their own jungle, let alone try and get aggressive plays in the enemy's one, but it's a slow, methodical game. Where will the next play come from is the kind of on the minds of Sligo. They're in the driver's seat. They're the ones with all the options available to them. And they're the ones that you feel are going to feel like they need to make the play.
They absolutely do, and I agree with that. And I think it's understanding, like, okay, they drafted this team comp. They seem to have power picks, but they're not really utilizing them. And we see, unfortunately, Sejuani gets the solo kill. That's great, but what else has she done? Very little impact on the map. We see Kexi is able to kind of dictate things. He drew a bunch of bans, I think it was like, and just went on the Poppy. Non-traditional pick, still doing things. They've now taken the top turret, and there's just nothing that they can do. We have Sejuani trying to the flank, but now she's too scared, so she has to pull back. She has that engage. We have the bot lane pushing in, and what's going to happen here? Because the Olaf is just getting smacked around.
Yeah, Olaf can do nothing right now. We see the flash engage. Ignite goes down along with the chain of corruption there, and that is an easy kill for Devils. Flash of the Mastery as well. And honestly, with that Morgana dead, no Black Shield available, that's a lot of safety just gone for the side of Derry City. Sligo, they're pushing in with 4. They want to see if they can get this mid lane turret in the inhibitors. Honestly, it looks like they can do. It's going to have to be a desperate engage coming out from the side of Derry, and honestly, they don't hit anything just yet. Actually, I lied. Dakin gets caught out. There's the Tarek ultimate onto 3. They do try and just disengage. Chaos Storm there as well onto Olaf. He takes a lot of damage, and as I say that though, a little bit of overconfidence, overstepping the mark, and that's going to be the re-engage coming out from the Poppy. There's going to be a nice Zhonya's there as well though from Fluky. He picks himself, his team up a kill, and there's a nice burst flashing in. Blue Bullberry though going to be slowed up. He's going to be the next target. Olaf comes in, did pop the ultimate, but that is a good few kills going over. 4 for 1 over, or sorry, 4 for 2 if you include the Morgana kill, going over in favor of Derry. They're not out of this yet.
No, not at all, and that's what we're talking about the Swain. He can be so tanky and he can do an unexpected amount of damage, and we just saw him turning it around, the aggression jumping in, and they're actually going to go for the Baron.
They have to at this stage. This is going to be a very risky call. Morgana taking so low off of the Baron just in general. Scuttle Crab being a bro right there. MVP. 2 Devils. MVP Scuttle Crab as they keep going for this, but I don't think they can do this right now. Devils is just too powerful with those kind of, 2 and 2.5 items. They have to back away. No full item onto this Swain just yet. Still sitting on. Oh, sorry, he has his, the upgraded Seraph's Embrace, and but no full Zhonya's yet. The Mormogs just finished off in Sejuani, so it's not really an ideal position to be in if you're going for Baron.
I don't know. There, I kind of think the Swain could have zoned out the Barons
if he hit him.
But it's kind of like your 4v1. You're behind. This is your push. What do you say? Because right now we can see, look what's up next. Infernal, they're ready in position for it. That's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's...
I give it like another 3 seconds.
Yeah, another 2 or 3 seconds.
2,
yeah.
1... Oh, spot on. There we go. 3 Infernals now on the side of Sligo. Huge.
Yeah, it's almost a matter of when rather than if at this stage of the game for Sligo. But I gotta call out Dex right now. His build is so suboptimal right now. Randuin's Omen, there's no one building crit. Randuin's Omen's fantastic. What it does is it reduces the crit damage you get on top of your champion. Fantastic for the likes of Caitlyn's or Yasuo's or anything like that. Varus doesn't build crit. Varus builds on hit damage. He builds the Guinzoos, the Rage Blade, he builds the Bork and the the Wit's End. So he's doing no crit damage. That you're getting base stats off of that Randuin's. It's just not very good. He's got that Gargoyle Stoneplate, again, not a fantastic item as Devils kind of gets caught. Or did he catch everybody else? It could have been an elaborate bait as Fluky's the first one to go down. Olaf trying to push in, but he just doesn't have the damage. Like you said, the kiting's just too good. Poppy is onto the Jhin, doesn't quite get the stun though. And that is 2 for nothing off of what looked like to be Derry taking the kills. Looked like they caught the rest of Sligo off guard. They're just too far ahead.
They are, and they're not afraid, and like really good mechanics just coming out of the ADC. They're able to kite the Olaf, prevent him from doing it. Dakin trying to going too hard, but surviving. Great heal popping out there. They're able to take a turret. Now they're going in for the inhib, and I think this might be game.
This could be it. Inhibitor goes down. They're going to push in that wave. It should last long enough for Devils to get enough damage onto this turret. The only one really left alive is Jhin and this Morgana. They are going to bind up with Tarek. It is pretty much a formality at this stage as to when that turret goes down. They do get it, but they're going to back away. Timers aren't huge right now. We are 30 minutes in the game. And that's going to be everybody backing away. They're going to try and just kind of keep them interested, keep them going. But again, it's going to be very difficult for Derry to even come back into this. They've lost so much.
Absolutely, it's going to be tough. It's 14-6, 3 Infernals. You have Baron on the map. You'll have Elder Drake coming up soon enough, and I would not want to be against that. And I just don't see how Derry turned this around. Like, they've been playing, okay, very suboptimal build coming out of the Olaf. At this point, like, go 1 tank item, I'm all for that, but then build a little bit of damage. And you have some really nice tanky, bruiser items, and that's really what I think would be most efficient.
Yeah, a bruiser is what Olaf does best. Like even a Sunfire cape, I feel like would have been so much better. Just get that passive damage as he's running in, and it's stuff like that that you kind of feel like it wouldn't have a massive impact on the game, but it definitely would have enough to you know, be able to change maybe a couple of different fights, a couple of different patterns as such. We are seeing some small items coming in, but like you compare that to, you know, some of the bigger ones we're seeing on the side of Sligo as they come in for the next fight. Blue Bulberry with the flank, the Black Shield doing exactly what it needs to do, but that's a great stun onto the Morgana. Tarek Ultimate going to be able to negate any kind of damage, and as I say that though, this could be Swain's time to shine. Devils though untouched on the backside. Jin going to be able to put down his ultimate. He gets knocked away though, and that's going to be Fluky going down. No damage dealers left as Victor finally joins the fight. It's going to be a 4 for none, and that is most likely going to be Sligo taking the game very, very nicely there. Not as fast as they probably wanted it, but definitely cleaner than most people we've seen today. 18 kills to 6, and they're just waiting. They're toying with the Jin as he eventually goes down. 19 to 6, 3 Infernal Drakes, and that is going to be all she wrote for this game as Sligo take the game over Derry City.
Definitely coming out on a dominating performance, not only in their picks, individual performance, but team performance. They knew what they were doing. They didn't overexpose themselves. They knew how to close out the game, and they played it slow and methodical, and that's why they've got the win, 19 to 6. I think you're right. Best team so far.
They've definitely proved it a little bit there. That looked comfortable from the side of Sligo. They looked very, very strong. They looked like the kind of team that could do that against anybody. It doesn't matter who they're against. You know, it's definitely Derry were not a bad team. They weren't exactly seen as one of the top tabling teams, but they were definitely someone who should have been able to put up a little bit more of a fight. You know, again, we talk about it all the time. Big Betty, you know, you're on LAN kind of servers, you're on LAN, or not LAN servers, excuse me, you're on LAN environment, and that could have affected it, but Sligo, unaffected, business as usual.
Absolutely, and it's what's interesting is like the champions that they chose weren't hard carry champions, they weren't meta champions, so what happens when they do get those? If their mechanics are so good that they're able just to win off of CS lead, grabbing good opportunities, objective control, then suddenly you throw them Psy on top.
I definitely think the Poppy and the Kane were definitely two different kind of champions you don't see as often.
No.
Varus very much a top tier pick right now. Victor has been floating around there as well. He's got good zone control. And
Tarek is a strong pick.
Tarek, very strong pick. So if you take away, you know, if you put two even stronger picks in the top and the jungle, you've got yourself a scary, scary team.
But I was really impressed by the Kane in the way he was playing it, and he was dancing in and out, which was really good. So that was really exciting. Good performance. They should be feeling really confident. And with that, we're going to jump onto the stage for the post-game interview.
So thank you. We have, well, I was going to say a few surprises, but we're that early into the competition, we don't really know what a surprise is. Earlier on, potentially, the Shamrock Rovers defeat was a surprise. I am joined this time by Burnsy and also by the captain of Derry. It's Alex, isn't it? There you go. This time I get the losers and Holly gets the winners. So I will bow my head and throw over to the much more successful presenter, at least on this time of the evening.
We are the champions, absolutely. What an absolute brilliant part of the night we've had so far. Those games were intense. It's just going to show you exactly what is still to come in the competition. Kevin, let's start with you. Sligo, what a victory. I spoke to you beforehand. You were feeling confident. You talked about tactics. It all came off.
It did indeed. I mean, it was very routine for us, I found. It was pretty much the same as it was in practice, you know. Nerves didn't get to anyone, everyone stayed calm, and once everyone was set up, I think they were comfortable, and we just played our game, and our game means we win.
And in particular, what worked for you? What did you find that you'd talked about beforehand, the tactics you discussed? What worked best?
I think the best premeditated strategy, that we had was that we played our team comp beforehand. So this was something that we've played 2 or 3 times in practice. So we had it down to a T. We knew exactly what we were doing in every stage of the game, and because of that, we were able to just execute it perfectly.
And you did so well, and you felt confident as a team working together too.
Yeah, of course. I think at this stage the guys are very confident with each other, and I think we've fully, bonded as a team. And I think at this stage we're only going to improve as the weeks come.
Absolutely. Hopefully Derry will have maybe something to take from that. Who knows, Connor? I'll pass over to you then, over at the losers.
Derry, to use a footballing analogy, there is a term called bounce back ability, right? It was a term coined some years ago in the world of football. You are representing Derry City, almost from a football perspective. You're going to need bounce back ability in next week's games. First of all, what went wrong, and how do you make sure you're still in the hunt for the 20,000 euros and the trip for Vegas this time next week?
I think that our draft wasn't the best. I think they had really good late game scaling, and our comp that we played really relied on us winning lane, and we just farmed out the game and didn't really play our composition right.
So you've got a week, and you've got a week to play as much as you want. You've got time to sit down with your colleagues, with your teammates. You have time to sit and talk about it. So, as the captain, and you get to make the decisions, what are you asking?
I think for everyone on my team, I think we're going to try to pick up some more new champions to play. Maybe look for some different compositions and try something new.
Right. So, in a second, I'm going to be talking to the losing Bows team because they need some sort of... They need a hug. But before we go to there, let's go back to one more champion for this evening, if we can.
We don't need a hug over here, though, do we, Sean? I think we deserve a high five for that performance. That was incredible. How are you feeling after that win?
It was probably a bit more, closer than I'd like. But starting off, we have the time to put in, to practice more, get synergy going, especially against the stronger teams. Like my boy Kev Sligo. They'd be a tough opponent that I'm looking forward to. This game we came in with the goal in mind, and we lost sight of that. It went, well early, and then just had to rein ourselves in. Got a bit excited, and after that it was just routine. We just executed the idea we had going in, and pulled out the win as expected.
I mean, as the team representing 3 here today, the only one without a football team, I suppose, but you've still got plenty of support here. I mean, has that added the pressure to you? Did you feel that as a team?
Well, like being, handpicked by 3. If it was, kind of an honour, like to serve the representing team, I suppose, for the whole event. And I feel that I, have the ability. I just need to be consistent and back that up. Aside from that, having one of the most experience probably in the competition, it's up to me to, coach or support my team through and help them to the best of my ability. And if I can do that successfully, I think we're in a good shot for winning.
I think, Sean, that is really good advice there as well. That's about working together as a team, something that you're clearly doing very well, but you're dealing with that pressure really well as well. Do you think you are in with a shot to win the title, more importantly?
Yeah, I do. I think I can be Ireland's next EStar, personally.
Oh, that is big talk. So early in the competition from Sean, he's already declared himself a winner. What do you reckon, Connor? Has he got it in him? Who have you got your eyes on?
Ireland's not big. At the start of this today, we said this is not a game. They were well reflected by 3. Fight and talk early on. But look, first of all, I promised you a hug. You deserve a hug now. Let me give you a bit of an insight as to how the last couple of weeks have gone. Myself and Holly have been lucky to meet some of the teams outside of this. And I have to say, some of the most boisterous, some of the most outlandish, some of the most, I suppose the loudest of them all have been Bows. And they've been a very fun team to be around, do you think? But I will say in this though, you haven't been bragging about how good you are. You've just been enjoying the ride, right?
I don't know. I'm an emotional player, and I don't know if people are watching. When we make a team as a team that's good, I just like to shout and I like to get in the enemy team's head. But I mean, today, all credit to Team 3. The team captain over there, Rengus, played very well. I don't know. It's hard to play around people who make very little mistakes, and I'd say today he made a few, but not enough.
Did you make more? Was that what the winning and losing of your game was today? That you made more mistakes, or were they able to capitalise more?
I'd say yeah, we made more mistakes. I just playing straight. I mean, I spoke to my team after the loss there today, and a number of them were just disappointed in themselves, most likely. I mean, saying that though, from when this team was created to now, there's just been huge amounts of growth, and one loss here today on our first week, it's not going to stop us from practicing and keep going. And I mean, we all want 20 grand, I don't know.
So here's a question, I suppose, right across the board, starting off with Bows, if we can. How many losses do you think any one team will be able to take in order for them to take the big prize? We'll start with Bose. We'll go the whole way across. So maybe this is your one loss. Would one loss be the maximum? Could you afford another loss in the competition?
I mean, whether we could afford it, we don't want it. But I mean, 8 games is there in total? Yeah, you could afford another one. Like, as long as you're making it to semis and you show up on that day, it doesn't matter. Like,
good point. Let's ask the same question to Derry. Derry, just asked the question there. How many losses can you afford? And indeed, Holly will ask 3 on Sligo in a second. But how many losses can you afford and still come out as the champion? 20 grand on a trip to Vegas, courtesy of our friends at 3.
I would say 2 or 3 losses. We would like to have no more losses, obviously, but there is definitely a lot of teams in this competition which are really strong, and I think a few more losses would grant us semi-finals.
Right, your team, Sally, they don't know anything about losses so far.
I was just about to say that. We don't need to talk about losses. We don't know anything about that over here. In terms of winning, that's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to keep on doing here. What about a clean sheet? Is that possible, Sean? Have you got your eyes on that?
Yeah, I obviously do. I mean, I want to, win, not just, through the skin of my teeth, but convincingly. So that's what's required, especially since there are very strong teams in the tournament. People are going to be picking up wins here and there. If you lose, that sets you back very far behind. So ideally, yeah, like for really want to compete in this, you'd want a clean sheet. That's what I ultimately hope to get.
Absolutely. Kevin, I'll ask you as well, in terms of just victory and what that means to you as a team moving forward, it just gives you that boost of confidence that you need to move through this tournament, doesn't it?
It really does. And I mean, in my opinion, I think to win the tournament, you need a clean sheet, and I'm very confident that Sligo can take that home. I think there definitely are strong contestants. Even, Sean's Team 3, for example, are a very, very strong roster, but I really don't think clean sheets are impossible, and especially for our roster, I think it's very, very achievable.
And Kevin, I know it's early in the tournament, of course. While you were watching today and watching other teams, who else have you got your eye on? Who's got the best tactics? Who is the biggest competition to you as Sligo?
In my opinion, I would say Team 3, Bray Wanderers and Dundalk would be strong contestants, but as I said, I'm very confident in our roster. We should take home the prize.
Okay. Oh, absolutely. Bray Wanderers, one to watch as well. We haven't seen 3. I'll put that question to you as well. Who are you watching out for?
I'd agree with Kevin, to be honest. Strong rosters would be Sligo. They've got a lot of talented players. Same with Bray Wanderers. They probably have the most balanced roster. Very consistent skill level across the board. Shamrock Rovers is a bit of a wild card. They have the best mid laner in the tournament, but it's just about the consistency and pulling through. Fortunately, they lost today without me. I think that'd be Dundalk also. Blaze is a very talented player. He can definitely lead his team to victory. So those would be probably the teams I'd be looking out for.
You know what I'm looking forward to, Connor? I'm looking forward to Sligo in 3. That's what I'm looking out for.
Sligo will take on 3. But listen, I want to wish the boys well. I want to wish Bohemians well. I'll look. Watch this, right? So while we were on there now, watch this, right? I got a message. Watch this. Come here a second, Burnsy. This is what we look like, right? Look at this. How well do we look? Right, this is us. So a big mention to Dermy, who's watching this. I think Dermy is actually a Derry City fan, but he's watching this at the moment. So if you want to get involved with all of this, we have the Twitter account. We'll give you the tweets, and indeed we'll give you access to how you can follow everything. But listen, I think I want to say best of luck, Bose. Good luck with the next one. I want to say as well, best of luck to Derry. Holly, I know you've got some. You can slip on out the side there as we welcome this next crew on. Derry, you can do exactly the same.
Well done, guys. Really well done. And like I say, I think Dermy watching at home, I think he's supporting the wrong team. This is where you want to be in Winners' Corner.
Right, let's give you some insight as to where you can view this and you can follow this not only on Twitch here this evening, but also I suppose right throughout the EStars world. And I'm saying EStars because it's called at Ireland's EStars. Give it a follow there. All right, that's the Twitter account. Oh, can you see that? Let me see. If I go over there and if I come back a wee bit. Oh, it's on there. So just at Ireland's EStars, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a follow, and I suppose more importantly, specifically this week, because this is the first week we've done this, we want your views, we want your opinions. We'd love to know what you like, what you disliked.
I think that's the point of this as well. We're trying to bring all these communities together. We're trying to get people talking about this tournament. We want to hear your reaction. We want to know what you want to say.
The winners haven't even gone yet. Look at the winners. They're still standing there. Look at them. They're not going. They're going to milk that as long as they possibly can.
Enjoying their moment.
Well, listen, lads, best of luck to you. Thank you so much. Sligo, well done to you. We'll see you next week. Team 3, well done to you. We'll see you next week as well. Right,
Thanks
tell you what I
much,
want to do now. Holly, I have not hidden the fact that my team growing up, my football team growing up, was Dundalk. Am I allowed to have a favourite or one that I'd maybe like to watch?
Oh, are you asking me if you can have a favourite in this competition? Oh, I don't know. Is that allowed?
Send us a tweet. Let us know. Am I allowed to have a favourite? Listen, Holly, you go over and find me the team captain from Dundalk, right?
I will
find
do.
me the
I
Dundalk
will do. You're
team
not allowed
captain.
near them.
Right, she's going to go and find me the Dundalk team captain. Just to give you a heads up exactly what's happening, if you have just come on Twitch for the first time, we are part of 3 Ireland's EStars. What's going to happen is we've got another 10 weeks at this, and the 10 weeks are going to be dotted all across Ireland. We're inviting you to come and tune in this time every Wednesday for the next 10 weeks, and it's all going to culminate at a huge event at the 3 Arena in Dublin. There are thousands going to be at the 3 Arena in Dublin. If you are going to be in Ireland and you would like to be in Dublin, get yourself on to any of your ticket associations, Ticketmaster. Have a little look for 3 Ireland EStars, and you can be there. You can be live in the flesh. We're actually broadcasting from Big Betty at the moment. It's like a transformer, and Big Betty is actually going to be in the 3 Arena in Dublin, and we're going to do this. And so if I look out there, you can't really see much. That's a cold, dark night and my shadow, all right? When we do get to the final, what we're doing is we're going to open all the doors, and out there could be you. Out there will be you if you get yourself on. Have a little search through the 3 Arena, Ticketmaster, and you can go and buy your tickets, and you can go and watch these lads in action. Now, Holly hopefully has the Dundalk team captain, and I'm not allowed to have a favourite, so I wish Dundalk well. That's all I'm allowed to say.
Absolutely. Oh, he's not giving anything away, Connor. So we're joined now by the Dundalk team. They're getting plugged in here. Look at this guy's hat. He means business, doesn't he? That is a proper gaming hat right here. But let's speak to Joe, the captain. Joe, how are you feeling about this? Are you nervous? You've had to wait all night to get into this chair. Are you ready?
We're all pretty tired at this stage, to be honest. But yeah, we're excited to get in the game and play.
I feel like you need to get yourself ready. It's quite late in the night, but we're ready for it. We're going to be getting into the groove very shortly. Are you feeling confident, though?
Brave's a very good team. They'll be one of the favourites of the competition, but I think we stand a good chance of beating them.
But Joe, Dundalk, a lot of people talking to me about Dundalk. You've also made yourself one of the favourites, so very high hopes, and this is going to be a good game, I reckon.
It will be, yeah, we're looking forward to it. We'll have a good fight.
Fantastic. Well, good luck to you. We're going to let you get logged in. Connor, it's going to be a good one, I reckon. I've got a good feeling about this.
It's going to be a good one. I can't believe Holly Hamilton at Holly H News on Twitter just used the term "get into the groove." Right, let's find out who's getting into the groove from a commentary perspective, and let's head over to Nikita and Oshin to give you an insight as to exactly what's going to happen now between our final 2 opponents tonight.
Thank you very much, guys. What a great day 1 so far. I'm really excited. The games have been really interesting. First one, we had an upset win. Second one, we just saw what really strong, solid team play is. And now we have the final match.
Yeah, with the final match, Dundalk versus Bray Wanderers. And as you've noticed, if you're a very keen eye, I'm getting more and more layers. It is absolutely freezing. So
where we are, so we're in Big Betty, and Big Betty has a stage, which, well, the back, which is the trailer, which becomes the stage, and you see all the players playing on that. We're in the tractor cabin. Normally this thing gets super hot. We have a giant light right there, as you can see. It makes it warm,
blinding us.
But it is so cold here that this, I guess, island hasn't gone. No, actually, I think we just got dipping because it's been quite warm, and then it's just gotten bad again, and it's just getting a bit later and later, and it's like, oh, there we go. That's just the way it is.
I think I saw a meme on Facebook or something like that. It's like winter keeps like storming off and then coming back and kind of going another thing.
That's like, a really good point. Like. It is it. You know what? I want to mic Connor up. I just saw him in the background getting into trying to pep talk the team. I would love to just get him against. I don't know. Like, we can just pick, maybe if we get Holly or someone else, so just get them on the other and just pep talk. Who can give the better pep talk and just see who wins.
Get the hosts just kind of going
also
one for
would
one.
really love to do a beginner's match with them. Oh my god, we should maybe try and do that.
That would
Where
be
we
a good
coach
idea.
them.
I was going to say that would be a great. Oh, 1v1.
1v1, you coach one, I coach the other, see who wins.
If they're up for it, I'd be up for it. But we'll have to see if they agree. That's the big thing. They
Well,
have
what
to
are we
agree
betting
to it.
on it? Okay, you know what, guys? Tweet at us. Tweet at us, Ireland EStars. Send us your ideas for a bet. They haven't agreed, but they will. I have a feeling. I just know.
No pressure.
No pressure. But if you guys have an idea, good fun bet, send it over. See what happens. Also, make sure to follow us. Make sure to follow the sponsors. This stuff matters. Support the scene. Support us. We're trying to make it happen. But final match should be exciting. I hope so.
Should be. Dundalk versus Bray Wanderers, and we are going to see a quick comparison of the two teams. Again, these teams is the first match of EStars, the last match of the day. We have seen we've had 4 matches today. We've seen kind of 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, we'll call it 2.5.
We're trying something new. Yeah. Decided not so much to do it, but here we are. Match comparison. Bray Wanderers against Dundalk.
Dundalk on the left there. We're going to see Costa Corta in the top lane. Goose 1v9, but we're going to call him Goose for sure in that jungle. Mikul in the mid lane. Walker Lad and Blaze on ADC and support. With Bray Wanderers on the right on the side of your screen. With Moo in the top side. Arrow in the jungle. Hawkins in mid lane. Kevaman on ADC and Munch Stealer on support. And honestly, Bray Wanderers, they're looking pretty good. Moo, just off of a Pro League win. He's after kind of coming off of a very big high. 3-0'd in the final, the last tournament he was in. Fantastic top laner, consistent top laner. Munch Stealer, he's been around. He's been on a couple of different teams. He's actually got a pretty hard time right now because Blaze is arguably the best support in the country. He's the one who kind of, will look to be the playmaker if he can be, but it's going to be hard with a kind of a subpar ADC, in my opinion.
Absolutely. We're going to have to see how they handle that, because especially in that bot lane, that synergy and how your teammate plays has such a huge impact. But I think we're going to jump over to picks and bans and see, are we going to get something unusual or is it more traditional?
I hope we see something. I want to see like a crazy, something thrown out, as we only have the one game, so we don't have the split screen. And it's going to be Dundalk versus Bray. And I actually don't see the first ban. It might have been a blank ban, but we do see the Virus Camille being banned out along with the Galio, the Zaya, and the Olaf. So pretty standard meta bans coming out from both sides here. We wait for the first pick to come in. It is actually going to be a Braum. Braum picked up from Dundalk, and you talked about it a little bit, but Braum he's just so strong right now.
He is. I just, as I mentioned, those other picks I think can have a bit more of an impact and kind of and I think it's a lot of for me it's a lot about the impact. It's definitely not that Braum is bad. He's huge. He's great. I mean, he's huge physically.
Yeah,
and
he's a big guy. Yeah, he's a big guy.
His impact in the game was definitely felt. No, we'll definitely see that. But not first pick worthy. In my opinion, no way.
I definitely think it is, especially if
no way. Giving up Sejuani, you give up Sejuani,
but
Azir.
It's Blaze on support. Braum is his best champion by far, and yes, you're giving up a lot of probably very high priority picks, but you're not going to get away. You're not going to give away the Varus because it's already banned. The Zaya is already gone, so you're kind of gone from S tier picks to A tier picks. So Caitlyn, fair enough, you're giving it away. Ezreal's still available. Tristana's still there.
Not so worried about ADCs.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the Sejuani because Olaf is banned. I'm worried about your mid lane picks. I'm worried about your top lane picks. Sion. Okay, they got it, but first pick Sion, first pick Azir, first pick Ryze, first pick Sejuani.
Honestly,
first pick Braun.
I think Braum is a perfectly fine first pick,
right.
but as I said, you got the Tristana now in with it now as well with the Scions. So the only thing you've got your bot lane locked in, you've got your top lane locked in. It's just jungle and your mid lane to really go for right now. As we see the Azir locked in for Bray, we're going to be going into the second phase of picks and bans. As we see the bans coming in, it's actually going to be the Skarner banned away. So we see already more of that jungle pool being taken away. Sejuani picked as well for Bray. They took away the Olaf and the Skarner as well. They are going to probably ban the Zac now as well. The Zac is probably the next big priority ban.
Yeah, I was going to say Zac.
Yeah.
Then you have Kha'Zix.
Kha'Zix, again, like I said, he can be ban worthy, but sometimes he can just be a bit not so great.
No, if you just focus him and prevent him from getting that ahead, then he falls behind. The Gangplank ban, definitely not a bad one. Top lane Gangplank has been very strong. You're absolutely right, Zach. So there we go. That's been removed. So definitely targeting that top lane and enabling... Oh, sorry, the jungle, not the top lane. The jungle and try and limit that. And that's a pretty... with them having Sejuani, it's a pretty good pick. Rek'Sai still available. Morgana. Okay, those are interesting picks. So it'd be interesting to see what Bray kind of goes in here. I mean, I understand all the bans, so that just makes sense to you. Strong picks, strong playmakers on the side of Bray that they're removing from the game and preventing Dundalk from getting that kind of jungler that can have a huge impact. Ornn picked up. What do you think about that?
Ornn, it's going to be boring in the top lane then, because Sion and Ornn will just not die to each other, or rather they should not die to each other. But Ornn is definitely one of those picks that he just he needs to be impactful with his Call of the Forge God and really try and engage those long-range team fights, come in from a flank, get them off guard, separate the team, and set up things for the Azir and the Caitlyn. I'm curious to see what Dundalk go with. They actually go with a Jarvan, completely slipped through picks and bans, has fallen off of the meta pretty damn hard of recent days, just purely because of itemizations and different nerfs to him and buffs to other champions around him, but definitely something Goose can play, definitely something he is comfortable playing with, and it's actually the Talia going to round out this comp for Dundalk, and I actually really like what they've done here. It's a very, very easy kind of, we're going to team fight, we're going to be better at team fighting, and that's all we're going to do right now.
I was going to say, I was thinking Talia would be a great mid pick. I was surprised they actually didn't focus on kind of that type of champion of removing any of them. Janna, not a bad reaction considering how many people are kind of jumping in, trying to just create that disengage, reset, and then go back. And Azir does a lot of damage over time. Caitlyn scales really well. Interestingly, we're going to have 2 top lane champions that charge a unit. Well, Ornn doesn't, but he summons the goat, the ram. So you have one ram coming. We have a trade going in the other way. Who wins?
An unmovable object and an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going
Except
with?
They're both moving. So guys, we've had a really exciting day. We had 2 matches at the start and then another 2. In the first one, we had an upset. We had Cork beat the Rovers.
Yep.
Not the Sligo Rovers, though. It was
Shamrock
the
Rovers.
Shamrock Rovers. Shamrock, who had 3 really strong players, arguably one of the best mid laners. But even though they got first blood, Cork just played it really well. Knew what they were, win conditions were, and just slow and steady won the race.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit up and down, but Cork City definitely taking the surprise win of the day. Then we saw Sligo take a much more kind of methodical one on stream. While that was off stream, Team 3 actually did take the win over Bohemians, and we saw St. Pat's beat Limerick as well in a fairly standard affair for them. So
that was, I mean, standard. It was like 18-2 and just completely wrecked in 27 minutes. It's like coming out strong. But what happens when they match up against tougher teams?
We'll have to wait and see in the next coming weeks, but it is something that this is a league. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a long kind of tournament that will see constant play coming out towards them, and you'll see teams either sink or swim. They'll either kind of develop and learn how to get back into the game if they've lost today, or they will just continue to soar if they've already won. And it's all about momentum, I feel, especially coming into this.
Absolutely. And for me, the 2 teams to watch are Cork and Shamrock Rovers. Those are teams that I'm actually very excited about. Like, Sligo Rovers, we expected them to win. They're a very strong team, probably the strongest team in the whole league. But Shamrock Rovers were the other team that we were looking at to win. So how do they react? I know that the mid laner was really upset about their loss.
Yeah,
really upset.
He was not happy about that. And honestly, right there, it's kind of... You just kind of have to take it on the chin. You got to make sure it doesn't bring you down. It doesn't stop you from moving forward with your team or anything like that. And because those losses can affect you, they're the kind of, if you were to look at it in a Premier League sort of thing, it's like it's like Liverpool or Man United or something like that versus like Leicester City. They're wins you're supposed to get, and if you don't get them, they're even more bitter because you're kind of like, that was supposed to be guaranteed points.
I don't know what you're talking about. I only know video games. But yeah, sure. I guess it's like maybe a Team Liquid against... It's a CLG loss. That's what we're talking about. You should beat CLG, but somehow they win against all logic.
Are they counter logic? Is that what you're trying to say?
Counter logical. We're fitting that kind of in. But yeah, absolutely. So how do Shamrocks turn this around? Do they turn that anger into, what, it was a
into
mistake.
hate.
It happens.
Hate
Everyone
into-
loses.
yeah.
How do we learn from it? How do we build on this? How do we get better? And where we're supposed to be, which is at the top of the leaderboards. What about Cork? Because they came out, played unusual choices. Vigar mid, not what we expect. But they played it really well. They synchronized it really nicely. Their target selection was very good in team fighting. Just great Tarek ults. So, where do they go from here? Are they able to replicate that style of play, that cohesion, into next week and beyond?
Well, it depends. Like, as you said, with Shamrock Rovers, you know, hate turns to anger, anger turns into pain, pain, and they eventually just become the Sith Lords. So that's what that's their plan of action for the moment so far. But no, it's definitely a massive win for Cork City. They're going to feel very confident about that. They're going to feel very good going into next week. But you've got to feel as well that they can't just sit on the laurels and kind of go, Jesus, we took a game off one of the top teams. They have to push forward from it. They have to use this momentum, use the points that they, you know, possibly shouldn't have gotten them in a, you know, in a million and one different simulations. They probably lose all the other games, but it's just something they have to kind of push forward with and
God,
try.
you're putting them down. They would lose in 1,000,001 games every other game in every wow, okay. Every single one. This is the one I know Stephen Hawking died and he's the father of multiverse. By the way, stream goes out to Hawking, genius. You know, great impact on our world, understanding of physics and science and everything. But I don't Cork is so bad that they lose every single game.
I'm obviously exaggerating, but on paper, if you look at it purely on paper and stats, they should not win that matchup. So
what happened?
They did win. I'm not saying that they didn't
take
win.
your Jat stats and just shove them back out there, because what matters is who shows up, who comes up on the day, and who hits that Vigar point and click skill shot.
Yeah, outplayed. Like, absolutely. But you know, it's just one of those things that kind of, I don't think he'll get the Vigar again. It looks like too much of a comfort. He was able to kind of, you know, absorb that LeBlanc pressure, and I see a couple of different strategies coming up against Cork in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. But does Vigar work against other champs?
Vigar works against anything, yeah. Vigar works. He's just a really annoying. He's very safe. He's a very safe champion.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll see.
Interesting.
We will
like,
see.
The thing is you are choosing. Like, do you put a ban on that, or do you just pick someone that can beat him, or do you just ignore him?
Well, see, they ignored him in the Shamrock game and they lost.
Yeah, but they did. Like, you take something hyper mobile, take a Talia,
like a LeBlanc.
You just ignore it. No, not a LeBlanc that needs to steamroll. But you take something like, I mean, Ioshin isn't great at the moment, but like something that can affect the other lanes. So it's like, okay, so you just ignore him, you just go for it, or you take something tanky. Galio could be really good.
Possibly, if it gets through the bans, that's the question.
Yeah.
But we are going to have a quick
jump over back to team comparisons.
Quick team comparison, just to check out the two teams.
Yeah, just showing them.
Yeah.
Just in case you got them. So we have two teams. We have Dundalk, top, mid, jungler, ADC, and support. So, you know, normal stuff. It really triggers me that the mid isn't in the middle of everyone.
I'd say and it also has a quotation mark instead of an apostrophe.
I know.
I think everyone on Twitch chat is joining us in this kind of like collective like, ugh. But these are things we will fix, I'm sure. But you know, we will. They are looking quite strong. You know, Goose looking to do work in that jungle, but they're up against Bray Wanderers. Bray Wanderers, fairly solid team. They should be top 4 now. I have been wrong with my predictions before, but
in how often do they lose in simulations? Are we talking
on
like
paper
500,000 times? Is a 250,000? What is it? Where are we looking?
It depends on how the Moo comes into this. The Moo in that top side is how they come into this, and you know, the support and bot lane will be okay, but I definitely feel like it's on the solo lanes of Bray to really try and, you know, shine for this team.
And that's what. This is, again, like something I'm really interested to understand, because we have stronger players, we have weaker players, we have players that work together, who haven't worked together, experienced international, or not international, but local success, like, on their way to international success. That's the point of this. We're bringing esports to the fans and giving those semi-pros and amateur players a chance to, one, win big, and to also play on a pro stage. And everyone, by the way, Finals 3 Arena in Dublin. Buy the tickets. Come support your friends, your teammates,
if they make
your
it.
heroes. No, because you know what? Even if they lose, they'll be there
in spirit.
No, they'll be there.
Yeah,
physically.
I know. I'm
they'll be there physically. They'll be there.
They'll be there on the
supporting,
results board of where they came.
And it's like, yeah, you know what? This is the dream. And then losing.
Yeah,
losing.
it was a dream, and then a team goes like 0-9, and then they go and it's actually a nightmare.
But that's just because the season was too short. That was their time to shine. That that 10th game, that was it. It was just unfortunate. And what can you do?
You can have plenty of other dreams, though. You know.
Yeah,
To be-
you can.
yeah.
Maybe this isn't the dream for them.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. It's week 1. All we have are some 1-0s. We have some 0-1s, and we have 1 game left. So who will? It's just gonna separate the top of the leaderboard from the bottom of the leaderboard
by a game.
A game. Yep, we're gonna have a 5-way tie for first and a 5-way tie for second. So everyone's being pretty good, I feel.
Well, I wouldn't say everyone's been good.
Well,
I definitely
first and
feel
second
like Derry
position.
City are feeling a little bit.
You know what? I chatted to them, and they're in a good mood. And they're like, you know what? We are too passive. Their jungler was like, still solo killed him in mid lane.
Yeah, I suppose.
Sejuani solo killed the Victor. So I'm clearly a champion jungler. I was like, you are. There you go. Exactly. Yeah, so they're still feeling good. He didn't seem down from the loss, which is the important thing. Now they just gotta learn from that, and kind of like we said, everything about this is just week 1. It's fine. A loss, a win, not a big difference.
You're just about to say it doesn't matter. In a competitive environment where 20k is on the line, I think.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. Of course it matters, because every win counts at the end. Like when we're week 6, you're going to look back and go, why didn't we win that first game? Why did we take it for granted? But the point is it's not so far gone. Like, it's week 1.
Yeah,
Like, come
absolutely.
on,
It's the very start of the season. We can definitely, teams can have this moment of kind of, cool, this is what we did right, this is what we did wrong, let's improve on that, and let's kind of move forward from there. But again, coming back to this game as such, because we are coming into Bray Wanderers versus Dundalk, the home team as such, they're going to have a little bit more support as such. It's technically a home ground, even though we're in the Big Betty every single time, so it's not really any different for anybody. But I want to see if Goose hasn't been in the competitive scene in a little while. He took a little bit of a break. He's kind of like reforming himself, getting himself back up there, and I want to see if he's actually learned anything and if he can come back into this, because he sometimes can go a little bit kind of kind of tunnel visioned on one kind of particular thing. Yeah, exactly. And he can 100% take over games if he's allowed to that. But I want to see him work as a team.
Yeah, and that's the important thing. And then again, we can just go back to the same thing we've been talking about. Playing as a team is so important. It's the way Riot have been updating the game over the seasons and so on. And we just see individual carry is not as impactful as team play.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
We've also not... I think teams, it's a really important thing. I remember when I was playing ranked with my friends, we would play ranked 5s, and when we just would queue up and jump in, we did okay. When we took the time to kind of set out our champion pools, what are we doing, what do we want to try and play at, we did so much better. So just taking a little bit of time of saying like, okay, you know what, we're going to play a split push comp. And we're going to do this for 2 weeks or something like that. And we're really going to nail that down. It will be very interesting to see how teams react to that. Because if, like you said, you have a top lane star, give him the split push. Like, let him really apply that pressure, and that can actually compensate for other weaknesses. Maybe it's your bot lane, you play through your mid lane and so on. Like, figure that out and think about where are your strengths and play to them.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is all about playing to your strengths and kind of, playing to your strengths and strengthening your weaknesses. That's kind of the way it is. If you notice a hole on a ship, you're not going to leave it there to kind of flood everything out. You're going to try and plug it up as best you can and kind of figure out what's the best way to fix the problem.
Yeah, and there are multiple ways of approaching it, and a lot of people think like let's minimize our. And I have a real issue with teams that play safe. That play to minimize weaknesses rather than playing to strength, that play not to lose rather than playing to win. And I think you really need to focus what are you great at and then build around that and figure out what we can do. But we're about to jump into game. Exciting last game of the day, and here we go, guys. And we're back and about to jump into the game after that short
You lied to the
message.
viewers. That wasn't the
I know,
game.
it wasn't the game.
That
I was
wasn't
told
the
jumping
game.
into the game. I didn't
Yeah.
tell. Like, that's not me. That's my producer. Oh, here we go. Look at him cutting me off right there. And all I can see is Munch Stealer on Jana. And we have Blaze on the other side. And what are we going to do? So here we go. What lane do you want to focus on?
I think it's got to be in. It's not even a lane; it's multiple lanes. The jungle is where this game's going to be won and lost. Like it's definitely on the side of Goose and the Sejuani to really make their lanes work for them. If they don't make that work for them, it's just not really going to be a fun time for any of them. So I want to see how they go with this. If I was to pick a particular lane, honestly, it's got to be bot lane because top lane's going to be boring, mid lane's going to be a farm fest, and then bot lane's the only way, place you're actually going to get action.
Yeah. I was going to say, I really want to watch top lane. I just want to see them slap each other and regen and do nothing. Yeah, look at Phil Moo there.
Do you know what PHL stands for? It's Phelan, his club. Or is outside of EStars club. His club.
What's it called?
A club. Phelan.
Phelan.
Yeah, Phelan. Yeah, like he's feeling down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm almost certain that's not how they intended it, but but
that's an interesting. This guy just like ducks. There's a very famous Redditor who's related to ducks. Now, some of you will understand who I'm referring to. Some of you will not. I'm guessing you know who I mean.
No, no. What I'm laughing at is that's Dublin University College, their society. That's not.
Well, there's a really famous Redditor who has something to do with ducks.
Oh yeah, he was in. I know who that is. He was in. Was it CS:GO? Wasn't it? Was it CS:GO?
No.
Oh, that's Chicken.
Redditor.
Oh, okay.
So there's a website called Reddit. It's
I know what Reddit is.
There's a famous Redditor who is related to ducks, and I can't really expand on that. But anyway, getting back to the game, we have Tristana Braum in bot lane against Caitlyn Jana. Caitlyn Jana, fairly safe lane. I mean, Caitlin's just on the side.
Yeah, well, they should be able to do a lot against this Tristana Braum as well, because the range difference pretty much level 14 or 15, so pretty much into that late game, should be in favor of the Caitlyn. Tristana does have that passive that increases her range as she levels up, so she will have a little bit of trouble in the first few minutes of the game. As we see already, we see a 10 versus 4 CS difference in that bot side, so you gotta throw it out. You gotta throw out the BM. What's the point of having those emotes?
Is it even BM? It's not BM. It's
no.
just like command, bro.
Well, it's bad manners, so
I'm bringing the paint trade, but here we have the Jov and 1v9. Is he gonna be able to do it? Damage catches out. Successful gank definitely, and that's it. First blood goes over to Tristana, which is really exciting. But Phil Moo, really good reaction with the TP down. Cyan is still up top. Are they gonna be able to catch the Tristana? They are. They're going to turn that around, and they're going to be putting back Corkins as well. Coming down. This is turning into a bot lane fiesta. Goose is now going to pay for that. Really good reactions coming out of break.
What the hell just happened? Dundalk just going in with the level 3 kind of, insta gank, if you like. Goose trying to get an advantage for his bot lane. He gets it, but his ADC then just kind of jumps into no man's land, doesn't really get anywhere with it, and that's such a strange situation where all laners pretty much join down here. The Scion is actually proxy farming up on that top side, so using that advantage to get a massive CS lead, but has got the kill on the Orange, so it's a bit of an even trade considering CS and then the kill, but at the same time, you don't normally see that. That was such a strange passage of play.
Absolutely, but I kind of like it, because at the end of the day, one, it shows great team cohesion. They jumped on it, there was no hesitation, on TP down, right call because they secured the kill on Tristana. Then Azir comes down, also good roam. He didn't lose much CS, as we can see, because he forced Talia out of lane as well, so she wasn't able just to push it in, and they managed to kill the Jarvan. So at the end of it, they come out 1 kill ahead. Yes, sitting in first blood, but they're sitting in a good position, and bot lane managed to get an assist.
It was a play.
Well, look, okay, but this way, had they not done it, they'd be first blood down and no kills.
Yeah.
So this is so when we look at where they are, Ornn was already being bullied out of lane, so he would already probably be about 10 CS down, likely 5 to 10. So he's lost minimal, but he's got a kill, he's got an assist, so he's actually in a pretty good position. I like it because it turns something around.
Okay, obviously they will be looking at it from the positive side of things as well. But
I feel like you want to say you want to disagree, but it's like, what are you disagreeing with?
It's suboptimal play in the sense of like Oren going down for that play against the Scion. Scion, yes, will have a bit of an advantage of him early, but Oren's passive means he can buy items, which means if he can just keep Scion in lane, he wins because he's the one constantly getting on those items. Scion got a free back off that, which is a little bit unfortunate, and it means that he ends up kind of like, you know, in a weird situation where the Oren's now behind Moo. Yes, absolutely agree that he was able to kind of capitalize on a, you know, kind of crazy engage from Jarvan and Swani coming down and everyone just kind of jumping in, but it's such a high risk, low reward play for both teams that it's so, you know, it's definitely something that both sides need to kind of consider before they do that again, because that could have gotten wrong so badly for either side, and that's why I'm always a little bit cautious to congratulate plays that can literally lose you the game.
Yeah, okay, that's I'll give you that, but like I said, I like people who play to win. That was that was you know, a gold 5 play.
That was a bronze 5 play.
Oh please! Do you think they could react with a teleport like that?
If anything,
that's a lot of clicking, and you got 2, and they'll get flustered, and they'd probably just flash. So, I feel.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll leave it a moment. We'll leave it for the moment and see what actual impact it has on the game coming forward. Jarvan is down on that bot side with the Sejuani up on the top. Costa Corta, though, needs to be very careful. Will probably not get stunned up, actually, because he used the ultimate.
Force out the ultimate.
Yeah, forces the ultimate out, so he backs away. Able to pick up that honey fruit, though, so he's in pretty good shape to get back into that lane and keep bullying the Ornn.
Absolutely, and so we see mid lane is tied up, looking at CS, bot lane, same. It's really only the top lane where there is a difference in CS, and I'm not sure how much of an impact that's going to have directly into the game. But we'll have to see how it plays out and where they're going to convert things. 2 good teams, I think. I do like the way at the moment, like Jarvan's we can see our breath.
Yeah, I was just about to say, we're not on camera, but you can see our breath in the caster booth right now. It's just making me laugh.
I didn't say it. The thing is, I didn't say it earlier because I've seen my breath for a long while now. But I was, you know, I was just being like polite, didn't want to. I was like, I know we invited you along, so I was like, oh god, I don't want him to.
I don't want him to think that, like, you know, it's cold in here.
Yeah, that's right. We'll just pretend. Just play it cool.
Well, you know, it's totally fine. You know, the Sejuani's in the game, the Brom's in the game. It's been a bit chilly all day on the Rift anyway.
There we go.
Yeah, it's thematics. You know, it's aesthetics. You know, it's keeping you involved, keeping you in a nice place as such. But actually,
I feel Moo's in a bit of a dodgy position. I definitely think like if Jarvan can rotate up top here, there's some pressure. But Costa Corta, yeah, definitely putting pressure, recognizing that and kill potential. And I think he's going to be able to get this. Oh, forces out the flash. So good move.
Yeah, absolutely. Scion putting down so much pressure, and honestly, not what I expected to come out from Moo here. Moo definitely showing that he's really not able to take on this Scion pick with this Ornn, and definitely playing the price for it right now. We see his flash burn. Now he's using his TP to get back into lane. Costa Corta gonna just back away nice and smooth as you like, but you know, no pressure really at all. The Sejuani not really trying to help out. We actually saw Jarvan as well take away that blue buff, so that was a good blue buff steal. Denies it away from the Azir, keeps the pressure going, and yes, Bray have gotten the kills early on in this game, but right now it's kind of all been Dundalk, and Dundalk really trying to stamp out their authority in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like, I mean, there's a reason why Scion is a top pick and Ornn isn't so much, so we can see him exerting that sort of pressure, but we've definitely got to see Ornn catch up with that farm, because we also see, but Caitlyn is starting to pull away. She's got a 10 CS lead, not huge, but still something. Tristana with the Cull.
Yeah, the Cull's definitely something that kind of most losing AD carries will take against a Caitlyn. Caitlyn just gonna keep pushing you in. All you have to do is survive. It's not that big of a deal if you kind of, you know, lose a few CS, because you make it up with the Cull. The Cull, to ladies and gentlemen, to anyone who doesn't know, does give you 1 gold for 1 extra gold for every minion you kill, and then when you finally get all 100 minions off of the stacks of it, it gives you a nice little expansion of gold as such. As I say that though, we're actually going to see the Dragon being started up here by Bray. They want to try and increase their advantage, but the Talia Weaver's wall is coming in. That's going to cut off any kind of Eggless. But a great Azir ultimate going to push out Walkerlad into no man's land. He gets taken down by Kevaman, and now Goose has arrived. He's going to try and burst down the Caitlyn. He does. It's a 1-for-1 in favor, 2-for-1 in favor of Dundalk. It was a little bit late, but Goose finally gets into that fight, and they're the ones who are going to be able to take the Dragon off that play.
Absolutely, this is going to be really good. Goose just turning up, deleting 2 people, securing the Dragon, and that's how we go right there. I think we have a pause coming up. We just see the players standing up there on the camera, so that's where we'll see how things go. I want to see more of Braum. First pick.
Yeah.
What's happening, man?
Well, first pick, but at the same time, they got the advantage they needed. You know, the reason you would kind of combo a Talia and the Braum is that you have the Glacial Fissure ultimate and the Weaver's Wall, which just sets up this huge zone of control that you're able to force people into. And when you don't have things like, you know, the Ornn able to put the Call of the Forge God in there, when you don't have things like the Azir Wall to able to disengage from it, he uses it aggressively, which at the start looked great. But unfortunately for him, they only picked up the Tristana. They didn't have a damage or the kind of re-engage to keep going on that fight. It was a 4v3, turned into a kind of a 4v2, but then quickly as the Jarvan came in with all his cooldowns, all his health bar, absolutely everything he could possibly need, they turned it around in favor of Dundalk. And yes, it's 3-3, but they're the ones with the Mountain Drake. They're the ones with the better scaling.
Absolutely, and if we're looking at the CS, Sion is just getting a bit pretty huge right now. He's now 30 CS ahead. We have Jarvan, who's 10 CS ahead, on top of his 2 kills and 1 assist. Mid lane is matched up. Tristan's a bit behind, but again, we're not too worried about that. She's got the call. Caitlyn's a pain to lane against, but Blaze is not doing that much in lane, so he's really gonna have to shop. And like, this isn't like he's playing bad, but it's like if you're gonna first pick the Braum, you've got to prove that it's worth it. They're winning, so
yeah.
But like you said, as you're saying, you want the most optimal play with the most optimal result.
Absolutely, and that's where I was gonna say it comes into the kind of what Blaze will do with this Braum in the later stages of the game. As I say that though, they're going to see another engage coming in. Good Tornado means that Kevaman's going to stay alive for a little bit longer, but only that little bit. Goose flashed out of his own Cataclysm, so he will go down. There's the Braum ultimate, comboed with the Weaver's Wall like we talked about. Good Janet ultimate though to disengage. Blaze trying to just back away, did have the stacks there to possibly get stunned up, but it ends up being a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Bray. They're going to feel pretty good about that one. Jarvan was sitting in that bush for a very long time, and he still couldn't do much about it.
I have to say, Hawkins' runs with the Izzy have been really on point. He's typically getting to the fights much faster than Talia, understanding the opportunities. But Goose is showing a great aptitude to recognize where Sejuani is going to be and get there for the counter gank. So I'm really impressed by that. And we've actually seen some really good counter ganking junglers, some great reading of the map and reactions.
Yeah, we saw Sejuani go into the mid lane there, but he's 3 levels behind, and that is pretty significant for base damages, so I doubt he actually was going to go for anything just there. Costa Corta and Moo, they're just on an island right now. There's no need for any of them to move. Both of them have CC to stop the other from TPing in, so we are going to see that quick pause like you talked about 3 minutes prior. We saw the players running around and, you know, maybe swapping out a mouse mat or something like that, but it looked like it was a fairly quick fix after that. 13 minutes in, we are going to see a pretty even game overall. Mountain Drake realistically the only kind of major advantage. Yes, that kill going over to the side of Bray Wanderers, but it's not huge. But what is huge is this Azir. It's already got his Nashor's Tooth. He's going to be building towards, you know, kind of more AP. He's going to be able to zone out, and soon he'll be able to two-shot pretty much anyone who isn't building tank on the side of Dundalk as we're back into the game.
Absolutely. He was doing a lot of damage in that bot lane fight. We're ready with only 1 or 2 soldiers, so once he starts getting up those 3-4 soldiers, it's going to be pretty monstrous. I want Ornn to buy boots. I've been watching and waiting. It's 13 minutes in. He gets hit again and again by Sion's combo, and it's just like, just buy boots just so you move out of it. There is so many champions that just counter just by like, oh, I buy boots and there we go, now I can move out of things, and people just don't seem to get it. But we can see Goose sitting on the side lanes there. Costa Corner just trying to bait him, but Boo doesn't have much mana, so why would he start the fight?
He wouldn't start the fight, but they may look for a dive. As you see here, Costa Corta just trying to push up. Orin building there another item, potentially going for a little bit more resistances. As you see there's the Null Magic Mantle. Goose, though, going with a much more aggressive build, has got mostly AD items, actually all AD items. Spending a lot of time on this top side. Moon now has no more mana, and he's to back away from that turret. So that's most likely first turret going over in favor of Dundalk, the home team. As I say that, though, Kevin Man gets jumped on. Good heal, gets buster shotted back. And he will not die, but Sejuani is now here. They have no jump now. They use the heal preemptively to try and just make sure that they don't get hit. Relax Boy just backs away, but that is going to be first turret going over to Dundalk. Goose patient in that top side. They push out the Orin, they waited for him to have no mana, and then they immediately kind of collapse back in on top of him.
Not entirely sure what Sejuani is doing down there. There's no ADC. What
pressure? Make sure they don't get the tower. You know, gotta make sure your tower stay up. You don't want to lose more objectives.
Yeah, I mean, the tower's full health, so I don't necessarily gotta be losing. But they did lose top turret, so that's a pain. They'll probably maybe, I wonder if they'll rotate around now, whether we have level of play.
Maybe. Actually, I actually kind of expect it to be a little bit more of a... You're not losing this bot lane. They will kind of like swap out the Scion as well, but like, you know, Relax Boy has been kind of like just camping as such into this bot lane, trying to make sure that he gets as much of an advantage onto this Caitlyn as possible, but 15 CS at, you know, 15 minutes isn't actually that big of a deal considering the cull was picked up by the Tristana. So they're actually on pretty similar item spikes right now. The Tristana able to go back pretty unhindered. They're able to kind of pick up anything they really want to get back into lane. Honestly, right now, if you're on Dundalk, you're pretty damn happy with this home performance. You're pretty damn happy with going up against Bray, and knowing that you have that Mountain Drake in the back pocket just makes taking Baron and the next Drake so much easier.
Yeah, the next Drake is an important one. It's an Inferno. You definitely, if you're Bray, you don't want Dundalk to pick up a Mountain Drake and an Infernal Drake, because that's just going to give them all the kit to scale. But at the same time, we're talking about this, like, there's a huge advantage, really. It's less than 1,000.
It's not that big.
It's not that big. But we have to see how would they scale. I mean, Azir, Caitlyn, great late game carries, but then can't discount Tristana.
Yeah, absolutely. Tristana, the queen of late game as such, and if you want to call it that. But you see,
Braum.
Well, with the Braum, yeah,
and
you can protect her.
Absolutely. Ooh, we did.
Yeah, we did. He tried to go in with the charge. Not that big of a cooldown, so not that big of a deal. Costa Corta just trying his best to do as much as he can. Goose now down in the bot lane. It's actually an Ocean Drake, not an Infernal. Don't let the icon up the top right or top left fool you sometimes. It is a generic one for everybody, for every dragon. As I say that,
Sejuani finally coming up to the top lane. I wonder if they're going to be able to do it, but it is a Scion and he's gone.
Not really what you want to be doing. Sejuani showing in that top side means that this dragon can go down fairly quickly. Kevinman and Munchstealer just do not have the pressure in bot side. Honestly, that's just a really big misplay, if I'm being honest, from the side of Bray Wanderers. They really... showing right there, showing the information that the Sejuani is nowhere near, just 100% secures that objective for the side of Dundalk. And they're looking like they're stacking up a fair few objectives, and they're the ones that are really kind of working for this. I'll be curious to see how much damage that the Jarvan does, as Goose is just building so much AD that he's going to be able to jump on the Caitlyn and possibly 100-0.
You know what? And I like it.
Yeah.
I've got to say that a Jarvan, and this is one of the flexibilities of Jarvan, he can go very tanky. If he's behind, keeps him relevant because he jumps in, causes chaos, and can just be a bit of a wall. But when he's able to get ahead like this and get those 3 kills, keep up in farm, that's the sort of thing I like seeing them building aggressive damage, especially when you have so many squishies, because it's not like he can jump on Janna, he can jump on Caitlyn, he can jump on Azir. So that's 3 targets that if he builds enough damage, he can 100-0.
Potentially, but Tristana did go back, and you know, we see actually more damage coming out as well. It looks like it's going to possibly be a Titanic Hydra coming out for the Jarvan, but i.e. Infinity Edge finished up for that Tristana is a pretty big item spike that he doesn't have to deal with now. Has got the scaling damage, will just be looking for the double zeal items in the rapid fire cannon and the most likely static shiv, but we have seen a couple of variations. I imagine Blaze, with all his diamond knowledge, is coasting his ADC into a comfortable build so he can help carry his team. And we are coming up to about just under a minute or so under the 20-minute mark, and it's pretty even, Stevens, apart from this top lane that's kind of being run away. Costa Corta just doing so much on the Scion.
Yeah, he's doing great, and well, just going back to the bot lane, like you said, and we talked about it, it's so good to see, because even though the ADC might not be the best, they managed to coach it, they managed to guide him into such a way that they're doing really well. And again, this is something that teams need to understand and play to their team and understand strengths and weaknesses. And if it's a case of like, okay, you know what, grabbing Braum, I'll keep you safe, you just scale, farm up, don't put yourself into like dangerous situations, and then we'll take it from there. Good reaction there. I'm happy with that. I think Dundalk just picking up the Rift Herald is great. Big fan of it. And it's like, okay, well, it's safe. Why not? Let's just grab it.
It's a global objective that they hadn't taken before, and that gives them so much pushing potential if they do pick up the kills in the right lanes. Get the right rotations down, you could potentially pick up 2 turrets and completely open up a side of the map.
It's the first one we've seen today.
Yeah, well, the ones we've seen anyway, yeah, definitely. Yes. So, but again, one of those objectives, like Dundalk, they're playing at their pace. We talked about this a lot, where we wanted to see teams playing at the pace they wanted to play, the kind of the scaling and all that kind of stuff like that they wanted to do, and that's exactly what Dundalk are doing. They're the ones that are dictating to the side of Bray. It's like, you're in our house, you are in our stadium, we are the ones who are going to be telling you how we play, and that's all there is to it. And this Scion, he's pushing up this orange so far up, and this opens him up so much as well, because he's able to now rotate to anywhere he wants now, mid lane, bot lane, if he wants to with the TP. He's got so much potential to be able to push forward with this kind of, global pressure, especially with the ultimate being able to put in.
And now he's pushing mid lane, so as he has to take the safer route back. But it looks like a big rotation down bottom. Relax, boy.
Oh, he will be though. Weaver's Wall comes in. Cataclysm,
are they going to go for a big dive?
Oh! Massive play there from the Talia, able to knock up 2 people there. Nicely done. They do knock back though the Sejuani, who was almost dead. There's a good Azir and a good knock up from the Mu. They're trying to turn this one around. Costa Corta does go down. They're not able to put the consistent damage onto the proper carries. The side of Bray picked themselves up a kill in a very scrappy encounter. It does leave mid lane open a little bit, but the rest of the team, I don't really know what they're going to go for here. It looks like they might just try to drop the Rift Herald and go for that mid lane turret. It was a very scrappy engage from Dundalk.
It was. Good reaction from Bray though. Good teleporting in from the Orn. I've got to kind of point that out, that he has reacted the right way and kind of managed to do it. But they secure the mid turret. Good objective and map read there. But good reactions, I think, at the end of the day. Azir coming in, really great ultimate coming out of the Orn that split up the teams, and we did talk about that, how important that would be in how impactful.
Yeah, they do lose the bot lane turret, so a little bit of pressure back in favour of Bray. They are tit for tatting right now, but good rotations overall from Dundalk, able to use that Rift Herald to take down that mid turret, make sure they don't lose just a person and a turret for no reason. They are pushing now into this mid lane tier 1. Yeah, I'm going to try and just tank it up a little bit, but no one really wants to go for it, and minions aren't there. It does get extra resistances. Scion is here to play bodyguard, says no, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Right in the middle of 4 people and goes, I want my minions.
Yeah, he just wants his farm. That's all he wants.
That's it. There we go.
Yeah, but what is the next play, I wonder, from the side of Dundalk? They're the ones that said dictating the pace. It hasn't exactly gone to plan for them overall. It hasn't been the most, kind of clean of plays. The Azir's definitely been a huge factor at disrupting their kind of, zone control with the Weaver's Wall and the Braum Glacial Fissure, so something that they do need to try and kind of, combo a little bit better. Munchstealer on this Janna as well, able to do so much disengage and keep his carries safe. Exactly what he did in that last fight there. It almost looked perfect, but just wasn't enough. Kevaman though and Munchstealer rotate up into this top side. Dragon up at 35 seconds though. That would mean that pretty much the Dragon is the free to take if you're on the side of Dundalk. Do they want to contest this? It looks like they do. They have everybody rotating up towards this top side. Blaze just clearing out vision, really doesn't want the side of Bray to have any kind of advantage. No one really going for Dragon. That usually means it's not a very contestable Dragon.
No, absolutely. I mean, I don't see them doing much with. If I'm Dundalk, I just push the lanes, make sure that they start pushing up against Bray. Then I rotate down, go for the Dragon, and then see how they react at that point there, or reset the map and so on. They are stronger in basically every lane that I can tell. Bot lane maybe is not a huge one. Talia isn't massively, but neither is she so far behind that Azir and 1v0, but nice little catch out.
Yeah, potentially though, but there's a Weaver's Wall going to lock out the rest of the team. Kevaman picks up that kill with the ace in the hole. Relax Boy just trying to back away, will get Braum ulted up. Goose is the one that picks that one up. But Kevin Man in no man's land. He's got a big old Scion just running at him, slowing him down, trying to get as much as he can, but he will fall. Mikul picking up that kill. Azir trying to put down damage now onto the rest of this team. Hawkins needs to be careful though. Janna is available to kind of regress, but they are going to pick up 2 kills for 1 in favor of Dundalk, and they're kind of back into the driving seat. This is where a lot of their big item spikes come in. They've got 2 items on Scion, they've got 2 items onto the Jarvan. They're now looking for Moo. Moo, you're in no man's land. What are you doing there? That is not the place you need to be. I don't know why he's there. He's going to get killed.
Yeah, I don't know. This is just bad positioning, and actually even the last fight, you know, they got a good pick and then they overstayed. 4 kind of reactions and a good collapse out of Dundalk, and then here again just seeing Moo out of position, go grabbing him, going down, getting a Cloud Drake, so now they've got an Ocean Drake, a Mountain Drake, and a Cloud Drake.
All the Drakes. Nearly. Won't get Inferno, unfortunately.
I know, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, Bray's just being outclassed, it seems, in every single way.
They're being outclassed, but they're still not super far behind. They have a team that's very, very good at just kind of being efficient with its gold. Not too worried, especially considering you've got the 2 crit items now on top of that Kate and the static shield and the IE. It is equaled, though, by the rapid fire cannon and the IE of the Tristana. Tristana does need 1 more item, though, to really hit that kind of like I'm one-shotting people nearly on that build. As we are starting to come up to 25 minutes into this game, and the Azir has been pretty significant. Moo has been trying his best, but honestly, I think it's going to be a fight around Baron that's going to really decide this one. Goose going with the Titanic Hydra is going to go slightly more tanky now, as he's got that one there. You get the extra attack, extra AD versus the amount of health you have, so it's a much more efficient item, especially on tank bruisers. And he also has a little bit of split push as well with that wave clear that it comes out with the passes of that Ravenous Hydra. So Baron next on the cards for both these teams. They both want to try and go for this. We're actually going to see the ace in the hole. Just use it for a little bit of poke, and everyone's going to back away. But you can see Bray, they're not 100% confident with this. They know the Scion is so big, and the Talia can just do so much in these fights as well. There's 5 mid versus 4. Moo is still bot lane, but he has got TP.
Gotta say though, like if Sejuani can hit the right type of ult, Azir is doing really good. He's ahead in farm. Item spikes are really good. Building that up, 302 scoreline, and it's not like Caitlyn isn't very strong. We did see her ace and hole basically delete a 50% Tristana. So in the right situation, you're right actually. You know what I was saying? That Dundalk seem to be ahead. It's less that they're ahead and more controlling the pace of the game. So it'll be interesting to see how they react right now. They're fighting over kind of mid-priority. You can see that Azir's shoving it back and forth, and I think that's going to be a big decider. But Sion is just being so good.
Yeah, Costa Corte, he has kind of had questionable fights in the team fights, so he needs to basically kind of pull that one back for his team. We see both sides not really knowing what to do with this mid game. Both know they're roughly about the same. If anything, they're actually nearly identical in terms of gold. The only real advantage you would have would be those 3 Drakes on the side of Dundalk. They've got the slight passive advantage. I don't think they can go for this. Everyone did go back. Everyone kind of pinging it right now. There's no real vision for the side of Bray. They haven't really gone towards it yet either, and we're going to see more and more kind of vision control coming out from the side of Dundalk. They didn't have total vision, so they didn't want to go for it too quickly just in case they got caught out.
Well, this is the thing. It's like that if they're going to go for it, they cleared enough vision. They could have pushed.
Oh, Kevin Man. No! Why were you looking at shop?
And that's
huge.
Now, so this is now, do they look to convert it to Baron?
No, they look to convert this into a Sejuani kill, actually forcing the flash away. They will be able to get him out, but that could be just enough to give them this Baron. Ornn is up on this as a 4v5 in favor.
We have Goose already starting the Baron, and this is what I mean. Like, and the point is that psychologically, do Bray feel strong enough to actually contest? We're about to see it. It's halfway down. Relax Boy is moving around, waiting in to look for the steal. We have the ultimate coming out of Ornn. It's a good jump out. Oh my god, here Azir is coming in. Double kill for Azir. Is it going to be the triple? They're still fighting on the Baron.
What are you
triple
doing,
kill.
Goose?
Goose is ignoring the Baron. Sejuani secures it. Bray gets it. And there we go.
Wow.
The game is back in the hands of Bray. Quadra kill.
Yeah, Bray absolutely just... I don't know what Dundalk were doing there. They didn't have full vision control. They didn't try clear it. They knew that Sejuani was coming in. They just... I just don't get... They kind of backed away and didn't go in for it. And that is just the worst possible result, absolutely. You know, have a 7-0-2 Azir. You got Baron buff onto Bray and what looked like Dundalk in total control. Azir and Caitlyn will destroy turrets so quickly. These death timers are still ticking down. You see now they're just picking up advantages. They will be able to push into this mid lane as well. Be Cool just trying to back away, trying to just save as much as he can. Honestly, that's such a huge turnaround. It's actually, as you say that though, Sion coming in with the ultimate will not be able to push it straight onto Kevaman, but they've lost so much. They've lost so much of their advantage, and it's honestly, I think it's about a 7,000 gold lead now in favor of Bray. They're the ones who have actually become huge now.
That was a huge turnaround from that. I think the big thing there wasn't just focusing on the Sejuani. They completely forgot about the on-up. Really good ultimate there. Yep. Smacked up, I think, at least 4 people on the team. And then Azir, it was his perfect situation. They'd taken too much damage from the Baron. And really what it comes down to is indecision. They cleared out the wards, then they messed around, tried to chase down Sejuani when had they just focused, because everyone was walking back from base, they could have burnt it down fast enough. We saw the damage they were doing. They didn't commit to that, but then they hesitated and then they went back to committing to it because they didn't know what to do then. Yep. And so it was kind of like, okay, well, let's go for it. Well, no, you don't go into a pit with Azir who can put up 3 or 4 soldiers and they're doing a ton of damage and you're sitting at a half health.
Yeah, absolutely. And very big mistake that could cost Dundalk the game. They gave up the Baron. 50 seconds though until this Drake is up. It is another Mountain Drake. And this is going to be a hotly contested thing now for both sides. If you give out a double Mountain, it's good scaling for Dundalk. But on the side of Bray, they are feeling confident. They are feeling good. Relax Boy. Gonna lose his passive. Oh, Hawkins gets dunked down. They are going to knock him back. Does have his ultimate available, but just not. Oh, I lied! Janna with the ultimate able to keep him alive for only a little bit longer, as there is the Weaver's Wall to able to settle him down. We are seeing a little bit more of a change of pace. Dundalk, they didn't get complacent, they didn't get down, they found the kill they needed, they found the reaction they needed. Now they can push down mid lane. They don't even care about this dragon right now. They're a 5-man stack, and the rest of Bray are out of position. This is could honestly be an inhibitor turret going down in favor of Dundalk. This is actually huge for them.
It actually is, and the team is just starting to rotate around there. So, Azir's caught out. It's also shut
I think they've got it.
Shutdown gold, and I think they do, because you can see them. Are they going to push back, actually?
Oh, as you say that, going in, there's a good ultimate. Braum gets caught out, and now is the re-engage. Call of the Forge God comes in. Great ultimate there. Busts a shot. Walker Lad says, nope, this fight is done, and everyone gets to back away. They are going to try just burst down this Mountain Drake, though. But the side of Bray, they are savvy to this play. They know what's going on. They have got TP on Costa Corta, so they're going to try and maybe get him back in time for this. Maybe a steal from Jarvan. I don't know if Goose has vision of it, though. He needs to try and just kind of happen. No, he's just going to let it go down. They give up one Mountain Drake. Not the worst thing in the world. And they back away. Mid lane now the target for the side of Bray. They lost a little bit, but they still have that Baron buff ticking.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good reaction from Dundalk. And even better reaction from Bay. I've got to say that they've done very well at understanding where their power points are and how to quickly jump in and kind of create something from it. But a great buster shot, as you pointed out, from Walkerland. And now they're trying to pressure the mid inhibitor, which if they're able to get that would really be huge. And it looks like they are going to be able to do. I don't really understand why didn't just
they can't engage. The only real reliable engage they have is Jarvan, and even then there's just so much power spikes right now. You've got a 4-item Azir. He would shred through that Jarvan. He has absolutely no magic resistance at all, or any armor to that sense either. So 2 hit from Caitlyn and 2 a soldier from the Azir. He is dead. There's nothing he can do. They have got some item spikes in favor of them, but it's just little things. They need a long engaged fight. As I say that, though, we are going to see the nice buffer. That is going to be a good Braum, a shield, and ultimate, able to completely disengage the moves engaged. But Tristana is free hitting on the back of this fight. The rest of the team are trying to back away. Kevaman and Tristana both untouched in that fight. They were just pushing forward. Both teams need to back away a little bit, but neither team comes out really sustaining any kind of victory. Now they're going to see a little bit more of a re-engage. They have got the wave clear, though, in favour on the side of Dundalk. They're going to be able to sustain out of this. Kevaman, though, needs to be careful. Oh, he almost went down. He had to burn his heal, and that's going to spell the disengage completely coming out here from the side of Bray. They need to get the hell out of Dodge as the rest of the side of Dundalk are chasing. They want blood. They want to try and get something. They can't, though. The rest of their base is being completely flooded by super minions. They need to go back. But Bray not feeling super comfortable right there.
Absolutely not. They backed off, but good disengage there. Luckily, Heavenman didn't get killed. I can't really say it was anything more than that. But this is actually turning out into an even better match than we expected. It started off fairly even. It looked like Dundalk were completely holding control of the tempo of the match. But then we saw them make a huge mistake. And Bray were good enough to take advantage of that and then convert it into their own things. And even when they got pressured, they were able to hold it off. So here we see it. Now we're getting a bit of a reset. People are bought rather. And now they're looking to what to do. We have Baron up in about a minute. And I think that's going to be the next big objective.
Yeah, I think that's what the teams want to fight right now. And if you're on the side of Sligo, excuse me, if you're on the side of Bray, that is exactly where you want to be right now. That is exactly where you want this fight to be. It's a closed space. It's somewhere where you can get a lot of your ultimates to do a lot of damage, a lot of kind of, you know, single off of people, and really just kind of look for it. As I say that now, though, it looks like they're trying to set up a little bit of a trap in that blue buff area. You see all 5 of them stacked up, but the red, or the trinket is punching. As I say that, though, Blaze gets a little bit caught out, does get his ultimate off in time. Now the re-engage is coming out for Dundalk. Goose has the flash. Oh wait, Tristana trying to put down the damage, is able to get Relaxed Boy down so low, but Hawkins finds the kill, and that is going to be the floodgates open for the side of Bray. There's no damage realistically left on the side of Dundalk, and it's just a slow and painful death for Costa Corta. You're tanky, but you're not tanky enough to survive this. The only one who survives is Blaze, and honestly, that could be the game.
That is the game. There's no way they're able to hold off at this moment. You've got to support Braum. First pick, but I don't care how good he is with that. That is it. What a great trap and bait right there coming out of Bray. And I gotta say, once again, maybe not an upset win, but not the outcome we expected early and midway through the game. Very well played by them, taking advantage of the opportunities given to them by Dundalk.
Yeah, absolutely. Dundalk played well, though. You know, fair play to them. They brought a proper game, but Bray, that little play, just knowing that they could just set up that, the amount of ults they have to just displace the team and really get on. And once Tristana was caught, that's it. It's done, dusted. You have no more damage left. I kind of call out Goose a little bit. That damage build from the Jarvan is very greedy. It's a very kind of like, I expect to one-shot people. He wasn't after the 10-minute mark, and that
Can you call someone out after praising him for it? Because at the start we were thinking it was good. I said I thought it was good.
Yeah, you thought it was good. I called him out at the start.
No, you didn't. You said you were like, oh, that's pretty good. He could one-shot Caitlyn.
I said he wants to one-shot Caitlyn, but he doesn't. That's what he didn't do. Yeah. But we are gonna.
So we're gonna jump over to the standings.
Are you catching a cold? From the cold?
No,
yeah.
I felt. Oh, I've actually been.
Yeah, you've been
all
up
day.
Yeah, but let's have a quick look at the standings. It is going to be duration that kind of separates the team. But St. Pat's Team 3, Sligo Rovers, Bray Wanderers, and Cork City all sitting on 1-0. And then you've got the other half of the teams: Shamrock Rovers, Limerick FC, Dundalk FC, Derry FC, or Derry City FC, and Bohemian FC all on 0 and 1.
So,
yep, it's pretty even, but we saw a lot of what these teams can give, and we also saw a lot of potential. Like, Dundalk didn't look like a bad team.
No.
Shamrock Rovers didn't look like a bad team. These are small little things that, yes, they lost, but they can come back. Other side of things, you know, the teams that did win, you know, Cork City definitely made a case for themselves as a top 4 team as well.
And that's exactly it. It's like, now, this is week 1. This was our first look at these teams. First on-stage experience for a lot of these teams playing together, and even some of the better players. So it's interesting to see who rose up to the challenge, and who didn't. But now, what happens next week? We'll have to wait and see, but throw it back onto stage with the hosts.
Cool.
What a way
wait,
to end
are we
the
done?
night. That was incredible.
It
It was so close. We were literally holding our breath in the final seconds, but it all went to Bray in the end. Can you believe it? I'm joined by the captain of Bray, Adam. Adam, you're now in 4th place in the standings due to the duration, of course. I mean, how did you find that? It was like you set a trap for them in the end.
That game was really easy, to be honest. I'm not sure what was worse, their Baron call or Joe's haircut.
Oh, that is some fighting talk. It's taken to this point in the night to get us get that type of fighting talk. Now, Adam, I just mentioned there, it did look like you were setting a trap for them. Was that something you discussed beforehand?
Yeah, well, obviously we wanted to set up for. Is this around the Baron play?
Absolutely, yeah. In the final seconds, the final minutes of the game.
Yeah, well, we got vision in their top side, and then we were like, oh, you know, if they're idiots, they'll go and face check that, and then, well, you know what happens.
Oh, Adam is harsh. Now, looking ahead to the rest of the tournament, like I say, you're in 4th place. I mean, you've got some tough competition there. Are you feeling confident?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. I mean, in regards to top lane, which is the role I play, I think there's only really one top laner in this tournament I have to worry about, Rankus. Everyone else is basically non-existent.
Oh, Adam, this is tough. This is the one to watch. This is some serious chat here. Connor, I mean, you are with tonight's loser, I'm afraid to say.
I'm with Joe here. First of all, for the record, can I put it on the record, Joe? I think your hair is epic. All right, I'm going to go with epic. Right, I'm not taking sides. Not for 1 second. I'm going to worry about the fact that I'm a Dundalk FC fan from a football perspective. From let's see, 3 Ireland EStars perspective, I'm completely neutral. But I have to say, I'm more than happy with the hair. Big talk there. Now, just remember Limerick earlier on tonight, they went into the tournament. Big talk, and I come back to bite them on the backside. So there is that opportunity throughout the evening. But let me just talk about the game. An amazing game. It looked like, first of all, Bray were in it. They were in control. You came back. You were in control. There was a triple kill in there as well. They were back in control. What got them over the line rather than you?
I think there's just some miscommunication on our side. I don't really feel like they won. I feel like we lost. We were just... I don't know, we haven't practiced much as a team yet, so we just need to get together, work on communication, because there was a lot of things. People were saying, don't do this. People were saying, do it. So then some people invested, and then we didn't commit, and then it went downhill from there.
So there's going to be situations right throughout this where each team, including Bray, they're going to have a home leg as well. You're home tonight. You're at Oriel Park. You're in Dundalk. And I suppose the pressure to a degree is on you. You're the last team on. Yeah. I'm going to say, what advice would you give to other teams who are at home? Because I know you're not going to want to give advice. You want to get one up on them. But what is the experience like about being at home? Is there a wee bit of extra pressure?
I didn't really think so. I think the main pressure was just playing against Bray in the first game. We were worried about that, but I think once we go to other places and play against maybe the weaker teams, get our team communication synergy built up, we'll be fine in the end.
Right, so a much more peaceful and serene...
I need to hold him back. He's just too much for us. He's too much for us.
Behave yourself. Listen, lads, Bray, well done. Congratulations. Well done to you. Commiserations, well Dundalk, lads. You can head back off into the EStars ether. Listen, thank you to everybody who has been involved in the 3 Ireland EStars this evening. It's been absolutely epic.
It has been incredible. I mean, what a first night we have had here in Dundalk. I can truly say this has set the tone for the rest of this tournament. It is going to be epic, and we have so much more gaming left in this competition.
Yeah, lots more gaming left. We want you to get involved, right? Have a little look for the 3 Ireland EStars on Twitter. Give us your views, give us your thoughts. Let us know what you thought of it this evening. Let us know what you thought of the gameplay. Would you change anything? Let us know what you thought of the Twitch feed as well, and let us know what you thought of Big Betty. We're actually in the middle of... We're in a lorry, or a lorry, as they say, if you're posh. And that's been an experience in itself.
It has been incredible. I mean, to be somewhere like this at the Oriel Stadium, we've had
now, hold on a second. You've just done what Nikita did. The Oriel Stadium. Nikita called it the Oriel Stadium earlier on. You have to say Oriel Park, Dundalk, right? You have to say Dundalk.
Listen to this guy. You can tell he's from around here.
Say Dundalk.
Dundalk.
Dundalk. That's where we are tonight.
We don't need the pronunciation guide, it'll be fine. Can I just say a huge thanks as well to Oisín and Nikita for the commentary tonight. It has been superb. We have been on the edge of our seats. We're looking forward to the rest of the tournament. We are coming back next week, of course. We'll be in Cork.
Yeah, it's going to be in Cork next week. Remember, you can be involved same time, same place next week. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to everyone behind the glass. Thanks to the production team. Thanks to the organisers. Thanks to everybody who's in the bar watching this. And more importantly, thanks to you. Remember, this is the 3 Ireland EStars in association with 3, in association with the friends at Lucasade as well.
And just remember one thing, this is not a game. Good night.